that?
Stevia?
Joe Rogan Podcast, check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night.
Do you want some coffee?
All day.
Sure.
So you're looking at it, Tom Papa.
Yeah.
Do you want some of this?
Yeah.
You know what this is? This is bulletproof coffee.
Bulletproof?
You ever had it? Well,
No.
the idea behind it. Is there any in there?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah?
there?
It feels so cold.
It's not. Don't worry.
feels
It's just
so
it's
cold.
coffee that's blended with grass-fed butter and MCT oil.
What?
It's very
It
controversial.
looks milky.
It's delicious. The guy who invented it was a guy named Rob Wolf, but the guy who popularized it is kind of a nutty dude that had a lot of false claims about the benefits of it. If you want some of this stevia stuff, this is actually pretty yummy, but you got to use very little of it. It's very sweet, but it has no sugar in it. It's a natural sweetener.
Is there milk in this?
It's butter.
It's butter?
Yeah, there's butter.
In
Grass-fed
this
butter blended in with MCT oil.
So-
MCT oil is medium-chain triglyceride oil. It's the healthiest aspects of coconut oil. It's spun in a centrifuge, and then it's extracted, and then they take that and they blend it in with the coffee.
This is why I love you, Joe Rogan.
Why? Because of that?
This is why this kind of stuff.
Well, it's just yummy,
Whenever I
yummy
listen,
coffee.
but whenever I listen to you, you know more about this kind of stuff. You like when I listen to you say stuff like that. I'm like, what do I do with my time? I need to read more. So this is black coffee?
No. Well, it was black, but then it's blended in with this
Gotcha.
medium. I don't know what's in that.
I don't
They're
know
all
what
they're all bulletproof, right? Yeah, all of them. None of it's black.
It tastes good.
You like it? It's yummy
I
and
love
buttery,
coffee.
right?
I'm
Me
addicted
too.
to coffee.
Me too.
When I go to sleep at night, I get so excited, like, oh, I'm going to close my eyes now. And when I open them, it's going to be coffee time again.
Really?
Completely.
That's bizarre, dude. You
I'm
might
very
want to look into that.
No.
You ever take time off of coffee?
No. No.
Not interested in that, huh?
No. I'm not fighting it. Like, I was like, maybe I shouldn't have it in the afternoon. No.
Well, there's a lot of false ideas that people have about the negative aspects of coffee.
Right.
It's not really that bad for you.
It's not, right?
No, it's a dehydrating element.
Right.
You know, it has a diuretic effect, but you just drink water. It'll be all right.
I need energy. I need to get through all day and night.
But the problem is with some people, it stresses their adrenals. Like you drink too much coffee.
Yeah.
It's like many things. You can't.
If you go overboard.
Yeah, if you have too much salt, it'll fucking kill you. I mean, look, if you eat a pound of salt, you're a dead man.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's how I feel. I feel like we're grown-ups now, and there are things that are kind of vices, and you have to manage them.
That's
like
a good way.
drinking. I'm not going to drink like I did when I was 25. I drink like a grown-up, like a gentleman.
Like a gentleman.
5 o'clock comes, a
Yeah.
martini shaker, one cocktail. That's it.
Who's getting hurt?
No one's getting hurt.
Matter of fact, they've shown that a glass of wine a day is actually as healthy as exercise for some people.
Really? Mm-hmm. Who are those some people? How do you know if you're one of the some?
Well, you probably. I think the idea behind a glass of wine is, first of all, there's resveratrol in it, which is a natural antioxidant that comes from grapes, and it exists in wine, and it's actually very good for you. I actually take it as a supplement. Resveratrol is very good for you. But and then on top of that, there's a certain amount of benefit in a stress relieving.
Yes.
Like the wine hits you, and you're like, and that
know.
calmness and stress, it's very hard to under or overemphasize how important that is.
It's huge.
It's massive.
Huge.
Yeah.
I do yoga, and it's primarily because of that.
Yeah.
When I'm not doing it, my stress level is so much higher. It's not the stress levels. The stress is always the same. My life is my life, but it just kind of rolls off.
Yeah.
When I'm really active with it, it just kind of
feels
rolls off.
Manageable, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you smoke weed?
Yeah,
There you go. That's
Yeah.
good for you.
it is good for you. I've kind of this is what I've
Cut back.
I'm coming back.
Coming back to weed.
Yeah, I
Got some right here. If you want to fire one of these bad boys out, you want to?
no, I gotta drive.
You scared to drive?
I am scared. I am scared. You know what it is? I have a friend who's an older guy, comedian.
Talking about me?
No.
Okay.
You're a young man. This guy, he's gay. And
Well, that's definitely not me, bro.
He came up during the during the time when people weren't out.
Right.
And now everybody's out. but because he grew up during that time and he's pretty much out, he's still like shaky. Like he's still scared. Like he'll speak in hushed tones about certain stuff
yeah.
because that's how he grew up. That's how I feel with weed. I came up when it was illegal and you were paranoid all the time and trying to sneak it around.
How old are you?
I'm 46.
So you're a year younger than me. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm 47.
Are you really?
Smoke it, son. Don't be scared.
Well, yeah. And I smoked, up until, I guess, like maybe, I don't know, 5 years after college, 6 years, maybe something like that. For a good 10-year block of all the time. And then I wasn't as funny. I really wasn't. It was taking away my funny. And so I put it down and stayed away for a pretty long time. And I've been a comedian for 20 years. So like 10 years of it, I was doing it. And then the last 10, I haven't been doing it. And just in the last year or two, I'm bringing it back into the fold.
Just been the last year or two.
Yeah.
What? And it was it a pragmatic decision, like a funny decision?
Yeah, it's pretty it's pretty thoughtful. Like I stopped because there was this kid that I used to in high school. I used to riff with all the time. We would like get together. He wasn't a comedian, just an Irish, naturally funny. Like naturally Irish. Those guys that could just curse like nobody could, and just hilarious. And the two of us would always get together at these parties, and we would just screw around, and everyone would be laughing, and we were riffing together, and it was great. And so I went away and came back one time in college, and I was high, and we met up at a party, and he just ran circles around me. I completely didn't have it. I was like, "Dah,"
because you're too high.
I was too high, and I always thought about that. And then as I was going along, it was like I wasn't as productive. It wasn't as funny. It just wasn't working for me. So I just completely put it down. And then, worked on my comedy and did everything that I wanted to do as a comedian. And now the same thing as the alcohol, like a gentleman. I know how to smoke now. I know how to drink now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of bring it back. And especially, I really use it especially when I'm writing. Like I always at least have a notebook around me. I don't like to smoke socially.
No?
No.
Do you get weird?
Yeah, I get a little weird.
You're weird right now.
I'm always weird. I always feel weird. Don't you always feel a little weird?
I always feel
Susan
weird.
Sarandon had a great quote. They asked her about, she was going to Coachella, and they asked her, are you going to get high or whatever? She's like, I do this, I do that. And it's like, will you get high there? She's like, I don't know. She goes, I have a rule. I never get high if I have to pretend that I'm not. Isn't that great? That really hit home for me. I'm like, there's so many times I don't want to be like, no, I'm not. I'm okay.
Yeah, you should never lie about being high. But people do. It's like people lie about three things on a regular basis. They lie about being high. They lie about whether or not they were awake when you called them. And they lie whether or not they farted. Those are three things that are super common that people lie about.
I was just with a friend of mine. I'll say his name, Flanny, the guy who runs Largo. And we were just having coffee this morning. And we're the only two people outside.
And he farted.
And he farted.
Fucker.
I mean, like a big cabbage fart. And I'm like, Flanny. He's like, I didn't do it. I'm like, yes, you did. Yes, you did. Because even if it was mine and it snuck out and I wasn't aware, mine never smell like your big Scottish ass, Irish ass. And he completely lied right to my face. And then when we were saying goodbye at the parking meters, the smell came up again, and I just let it go. I'm like, he's not going to cop to it.
Some people just fart all over you.
But did you smoke the whole time? Did you smoke all the way through, or did you pick up weed later on?
I picked up weed when I was 30.
When you were 30?
Yeah, so last 17 years.
See, that's healthy, because your brain was you were already Joe Rogan.
I had a bad idea of it, though. My idea of weed was that weed was bad for you. Mm-hmm. My idea was that weed was just, it was a crutch, and it was for weak-minded people. Mm-hmm. I had I had a lot of misconceptions about pot.
Yeah.
I picked it up, I guess, what year was it? It was somewhere around 2000.
What was your first time? Was it a big deal? It was your first time? Because you had this idea.
I guess it was probably before 2000. Now that I think about it, because it was before Y2K. Because I was high when Y2K was happening. I was fucking terrified. Jesus, it's all going down.
It's really happening.
My ideas were all wrong, and they were all based on people being losers. And it was also based on just the idea of drugs themselves. I had grown up around quite a few people that had drug problems.
Yeah.
And especially with coke, which I never have done.
Yeah.
And it's because of that. It's because of seeing these people, like, their lives like get devastated by this drug. So I was terrified of it. All drugs, I felt like, made you a loser.
Yeah. Well, it's not. Yeah. I mean, if you're around it and you see it, I didn't think that it was so much a loser thing, and I don't at this point. I do think you can start too early. I do think, as a parent, and I'm saying this in case my children's friends listen to the show and then tell my daughter, but but I do think, like, at a certain, like, if you can start too early. Everyone I know who started too early got a little weird. They spun out a little bit.
But
Like,
I
your
think-
brain has to kind of
Yeah.
become you. You're so just to figure out who you are and what you know. Your brain is really hyper developing then. Like, why mess with it?
Yeah, I think you're taking like a real big, like, you're taking a big leap from your normal consciousness when you're getting high. And when you're just sort of getting the feel of your normal consciousness, if you're getting high all the time,
Right.
I think you miss out on a developmental period.
Completely.
Yeah.
Very confusing period, and then why throw that into it?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think that there's a certain amount of people, especially, that should never try weed. It's not for them.
Not at all. Did you feel like by the time you were 30, when you started, like you kind of were done with all of figuring out who you were, kind of weirdness, or were you?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
No,
Like
I'm
shifting
still
around?
figuring out who I am. I think you're always. I think if you really are not growing anymore as a person, you're basically dead in the water.
Right.
I mean, I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. So if you're not perfect, you're constantly trying to improve on various aspects of your life.
Yeah.
And as a comic, especially when you abandon your material, like you have an act, you put out a special, and then you toss all your material out, you're starting fresh. You kind of got to reinvent, like, what your thoughts are.
Yeah.
Or reinvent. You're definitely reinventing what you're presenting on stage.
Yeah.
So there's this constant sort of cycle or developmental period where you go through. You put out the special. You hone it to as fine an edge as you think that you can, and then you release it.
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, let's start all over again.
Right.
And when you're starting all over again, there's a lot of thinking involved. That's why those old guys that never wrote.
Yeah.
Like, there was a period. Like,
Terrifying.
I'm sure. Yeah. We've all seen those guys that have
Yeah.
the same act from 20 years ago.
Scary.
Those poor bastards.
They become irrelevant
They
really
don't-
quick.
They die.
Yeah.
They die in their mind. Their mind is dead.
Dead.
Like, you see them on stage telling those old jokes, and you're like, fucking Christ, man.
Yeah. There was a guy who came into the improv not too long ago and was doing OJ jokes.
Unless it's a really good OJ joke. I mean, you never know.
It wasn't
Every
like
now and then a guy has a new take on an old story.
oh, that old yarn.
But it was like, so, you guys heard about OJ, right?
But
Do you think he was guilty?
But we're so self-aware as comedians. You're always looking at yourself, analyzing yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're kind of hyper-aware.
Well, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can bomb.
You ever have like a big thing happen in your life and you go back on stage and you're like, oh, I'm a different guy than the guy that wrote this stuff.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's the beautiful thing about getting rid of your act every couple of years.
Yeah.
You know, or at least doing a new special and starting from scratch every couple of years.
Yeah.
So you can kind of represent who you are right now.
Right.
You know, I'll go back and listen to like my first CD from 1999, and I'm like, oh, fucking Christ, it's hard. And that was like a CD on Warner Brothers, like a real CD. Like, I can go back and listen to recordings before that.
Yeah.
And they're fucking god awful. It's just, if you had to go back and do your own act from your first couple of years.
Oh my God. What's amazing to me, and I always think about, is people were hiring me when I was telling these jokes. Like, I was making money with this act. It was so bad.
Well, if you went to any comedy club across the country, you see various stages of development.
Yeah.
And you're always going to see that. I mean, I remember really clearly, like, struggling and trying to put it together and then going to see someone really good and being like, fuck,
Yeah.
I'm never getting there.
Yeah.
Like, this is never happening.
I know.
Makes you just almost want to quit.
I know. You know who's been doing that to me lately is Maria Bamford. I watched her, I ran into her a couple times, and she she's been so prolific and writing so much and such good stuff. And I was just like, it's good. It's like you go, all right, let me look at my material. What am I cheating on?
Right,
I'm getting
right,
laughs
right,
with this
right.
whole act. But
Right.
what am I really, what am I mugging? Where is there not really a solid idea or a solid joke? And you start looking at it, you're like, all right, I'm cheating here. That's a good
Right.
line. I don't know why they're laughing at this. Maybe it's my funny face when I say it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like to really kind of look at it and analyze it. It's like I'm kind of cheating 80% of the time.
Well, that's why, like, being inspired by your peers, like being,
Yeah.
it's one of the good things about being in a big comedy community like New York or
Yeah.
LA, is that you get to be around like all these high level comics on a regular basis, and you sort of can compare yourself to them.
Completely. This is why I'm psyched to be here, and I really am very happy to be here because I've been a fan of yours for a long, long time, and we never really hung out.
no.
Never really. That's a big sea of comedy. If we could both be in it for that long and not really see each other,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's a big pool.
Well, there's a lot of places to go, I mean,
Yeah.
how many, we've been having this discussion lately. How many comics do you think there are in this country? Like working professional comedians who actually, that's what they do.
That's their only gig.
Or if it's
Kinda
not their
thing.
only gig, they're like real headliners. Like they may have a TV show or something like that, but they're a legit,
Right.
or a middle act and make their living. They can make their living off comedy.
Yeah. I'm going to say
A real pro.
a real pro.
1,000?
I'm going to go a little higher.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
There's a lot of gigs out there. There's a lot of, I'm really bad at math, but there's but there's
Wait a minute. How many is 1,000? I'm kidding. Got my fingers out.
Yeah, because I mean, think about every single night. Mm-hmm. There's gigs happening everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Every stupid town, there's some bar, some corporate gig, some theater show, something going on.
Yeah, but a lot of those I wouldn't even think are real comics. They're just like the best that city has. They're not really like touring. Like that same comic's probably not going to like Indiana next week and then like Florida the week after.
That does happen. But they are pro comics. Like there's like I always talk about Boston having all those local professional comedians that never left that were undeniably pros.
Yeah, I
I
guess
still think it's maybe 1,000. That's a lot.
it's a lot.
1,000's a lot.
And out of that 1,000, okay, let's call it 1,000. Out of that 1,000, how many are good?
200. 200 are good.
200.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would say that's about right.
yeah.
And then, you got to add there's a variability based on taste and subjective thinking.
Sure, but you know when someone's good.
Yeah. I mean, but what I might think is good, I might have a higher standard than some. I mean, I've had people tell me,
Yeah.
this guy's really funny, you should see him. Then I go, blah. This guy's fucking dog shit. This is terrible. I can't watch this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then there's other guys you see and you're like, all right, I get it. It's not for me, but I get that he's
Right.
turning a lot of people on.
Yeah.
He's not horrible. I just don't want to listen to it.
Well, there's some people that are like really good performers, and they just fucking doll up something that's really not there.
Right.
And they da 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 da, yeah, thank you, good night.
It's called cheap laughs built on fake energy.
Yeah, but it's, there's something to be learned even from that. I mean, that's one of the things that I always used to say about Carlos Mencia is that I never understood why people were laughing, but it was amazing the energy that he put out.
Yeah.
To get I never got it. Like I
Right.
would like sit there like dead faced, going, "What the fuck is happening here?"
Right.
Like, but they were all caught up in
place.
this energy and momentum of all the shit that was going on. I
Yeah.
was like, "Wow, this is crazy." Like there
Yeah.
are guys that have that sort of like big, loud, fake thing where they don't really give a fuck about what they're talking about.
No.
But-
they're closer to politicians than they are comedians.
Yeah.
They know how to turn on the crowd. They know how to work it. But they're
How about a
kind of
round of
full
applause
of it.
for the ladies? Ladies are working hard out there, gentlemen. Come on. How about a round of applause for those ladies?
How about one for the troops? Can we get one for the troops?
Oh God. Those like really strategic, things that people will say.
The worst.
They'll say things where you go, "Oh, you whore.
Yeah.
You fucking whore."
Oh, the ladies really have it hard. Am I right, ladies? Or the worst is when you're, especially like you're in showcase clubs, like you're one of like 8 guys that night. And it's like, they're telling me I gotta go. I gotta go, guys. They're giving me the like, no, please stay. They're telling me I gotta go. Stop it,
Yeah.
you fraud. They're really politicians. They're
There's
just,
a lot of that, yeah.
they're kind of slick.
But you kind of got to be a little bit, right? You got to kind of get people to like you a little, especially if you want to push forth any really controversial idea. You got to kind of sneak it in on them somehow.
Yeah, yeah.
Like what we were talking about earlier.
Spoonful of sugar.
What we were talking about earlier, where you were saying that because it's so easy to criticize comedians these days, and so
Yeah.
many people go after people for controversial jokes. You were talking about how these like young guys you're seeing on stage, young gals as well,
Yeah.
are saying jokes, but they're like, before they say it, they have to say, look, I am not racist.
Yeah, yeah. I watched 5 guys in front of me at the Improv in L.A. go up, and these are all young guys, and they're all coming up. They don't really have much credit, but they're working. They've got spot at the Improv, and anything they came up with, if it was about race or religion or gender, they would apologize before the joke. And I'm like, holy shit, it's gotten to this level. Everyone's now scared. We're in the Improv. There's probably 50 people in the audience, tops. It's
Right.
you know what I mean? It's nothing. You should have. If you're not free now, when?
What all it takes is one blogger, Tom. Well, there's this thing at the Comedy Store that they do every Tuesday night called Roast Battle. Have you ever seen it?
I haven't. I've heard about it.
It's really funny. It's
Yeah.
really fun because they do it in the Belly Room, which is this tiny little room. They pack
Yeah.
it with people, and it's an insult competition. It's a joke writing competition
Yeah.
between 2 comics, and they insult each other, and the audience and the judges sort of get to decide who wrote the better stuff.
Right.
And they go hard at each other. They fucking go hard. But somebody wrote an article because someone white dropped an N-bomb during the show. And they're like, are white people getting the N-word pass at the Comedy Store? And they wrote this whole article like, you fucking piece of shit. Like, you know what they're doing.
Exactly.
You know what they're doing. They weren't, first of all, they weren't calling someone. It
Yeah.
wasn't saying like, this
Right.
guy's a nigger. They weren't
Right.
doing that. They were using the word in the context of some sort of a joke.
And even if right.
Yeah, but it was just like the idea that it can't be done. Like, this is, fuck you.
Right.
It's comedy. Like, there are things that are said in comedy. Like, yeah, in real life, in real speech,
Yeah.
when you're talking to people, it's probably not the best thing to say.
Right.
It's probably a rude thing to say.
Sure, of course. But as a comedian in a club doing
Yeah.
what you're doing, the only way it's going to go away is if you don't fight it, if you don't resist it, which is difficult. But if they come at you and say you're racist for saying this, the only comment is I'm a comedian, and then that's it. It's end of story. It's when you fight back and you take the bait, and it fuels it, and that's what's been happening. So now people think, oh, I can get this famous guy
To apologize. Yeah.
and make news and be a
Yeah,
part of it.
Not really fight back, but really like sort of defend it. I mean, not even defend it. It's fighting back is important, I think.
Yeah.
Or at least stating your mind, speaking your opinion. But this idea of apologizing for jokes, fuck off, man.
Those people, the people who write about it, who are in the audience and taking offense and writing about it, they, to me, are much more offensive than a comedian. The comedian his job is to make a joke. That's his job, is to make light of things. And if you're in the audience and you're calling someone a racist, or you're calling someone a misogynist, or whatever label, you are much more violent than the clown up on stage. Much more violent.
More violent? What do you mean by
much more violent. You're provoking.
Much more offensive.
Much more offensive.
Right.
But violence is close to the term, because I did a show for our good friend Greg Fitzsimmons. It was like a fundraiser thing for this school thing, and I was talking about, I have this joke in my act where I say I live in L.A. It's a horrible school district that we live in, and I either had to pay for school or pay for guns and ammo. And my kids have no skills, so I pay for school. And the only rule I have with school, if I'm going to pay for school, is it cannot be predominantly Asian. Why? Why would I pay all that money for my kids to be last in everything. And then I talk about these families, how they're just superior. Asian
Right.
families are superior. They work harder. They want their kids to win. They play 5 different instruments. My kids play the toilet paper roll, on and on. And this woman yells out from the crowd, "Get some new material." In the middle of it. Everyone else is laughing. "Get some new material." I said, "I'm sorry, what?" She goes, "It's racist. You're a racist." I've never been called a racist in my life. And it was like, whoa. It was kind of like being punched in the face. And I said, "I'm sorry. Are you not listening?" And the guy next to her goes, "We're wondering where you're going with this."
The guy said that too?
Yeah. I
Is it
lean
her
on-
friend?
Huh?
Is he with her? Is that what it
He
is?
must be with her. So
Yeah.
I'm leaning on, so I just stop. I lean on the stool, and I said, "Where am I going with this?" I'm pointing out that Asian families work harder than our traditional American white families. They work harder and hold their kids to a higher standard, and therefore they're excelling more in sports and they're excelling more in schools because of how they're raised, and they're held to these high standards, and that they are actually doing better for their families than we are by giving our kids a free pass and making sure that they have a good time. But of course, this all would have been done through jokes and would have been much more enjoyable experience for the rest of the audience if you had shut up. I said, "I'm sorry, what part, just so I understand, what race are you? What part are you white? Are you Asian?" She goes, "I'm Mexican." I said, "All right, I can't help you. You're wrong." And everybody applauded. The rest of the place applauded. But I mean, her calling me a racist, I'm telling you, Joe, I went up and did a Neil Brennan show after that in Santa Monica, and then drove home to my place in the Valley after that. And I was buzzing the whole time. Like, by the time I got in, like, I was
Angry.
and
Yeah.
and kind of hurt.
Well, you ran into a moron.
I ran into a moron, but just
all
that
it is.
term of having someone say racist.
Well, there's a lot of people that are recreationally offended. They're looking to be offended, whether it makes
Yeah.
sense or not. You know, it's like saying black guys have bigger dicks. Racist!
Right, exactly.
How's it racist to be awesome? How's it racist to be better?
Right.
How's it racist to be better at math? To say
Yeah.
that Asians are better at school. How is that racist? It's racist to mock their eyes or
Right.
you know to say they're inferior race. That's racist. It's
Right.
not racist to compliment a race.
Right,
It's
exactly.
the opposite of racist.
I
So
know.
you're sort of racist against your own kids.
There was so much fun in a time when you could just talk about each other,
Yeah.
and enjoy it. Like, really be like, you'd be like, we were Italian and my
Mm-hmm.
friends were Irish, and everybody had their things, and you were celebrating it. You
Yeah.
were celebrating that stuff. My parents' generation really celebrated it. Now you can't even say what they are
I had this-
without it being perceived as awful.
I had this Mexican lady yell at me once. I had this joke about the UFO that supposedly crashed in Roswell, New Mexico. In 1947, there was the cover of the Roswell Times or whatever the newspaper was. I actually have it framed in my house. That the cover of this newspaper, it said, there was a headline that was like "Flying Disc Recovered," like that a flying saucer. I mean, they wrote about it in the paper. They had statements from military people that they had found a crashed UFO. And then the next day they came out and said, sorry. They said the joke was, they said they had a crashed UFO and alien bodies. And then the next day they came out and they printed in the paper, or they came out and had a press release that said, I don't remember how this joke was. It was a long time ago. They said, no, we're sorry, it was just a weather balloon.
Right.
And I said, well, what about the aliens? Those are Mexicans. Apparently, they were on the balloon. They thought it was a piñata. They had been drinking. Some shenanigans took place, and this lady was yelling at me. Hey, I go, what did I say? And she goes, because I said the word Mexican.
Right.
I go like alien, like another country. Get it?
Uh-huh.
Aliens from another country, illegal aliens. That's what they're called. It's not negative
Right.
towards Mexicans.
Right, exactly.
But she was like, you
a fact.
shouldn't be fucking making fun of Mexicans. And I was like, well, why not? Like, what are you
Right.
saying? Like, what did I say bad?
Right.
Just fucking talking shit. Like, oh, okay. You shouldn't be. You're too dumb to be here. They should have made you fill out a form before you walk through the door, you fucking dope.
Right, exactly. If they were to describe what was happening in this club,
Yeah.
it is a series of people getting on stage and talking shit.
Yeah.
That is the whole.
So we went into this whole back and forth thing. Wait, does this make sense? Do Mexicans drink? Yes, they do. Right? Everybody, a lot of people drink that are Mexican. There's nothing wrong with that. I drink too. Do Mexicans have a history, a long history of the piñata? Yes, they do. They do. They beat those fucking things. Candy comes out. It's well documented.
They love 'em.
You're just talking shit about Mexicans. Why are you talking shit? It was hilarious.
Do you think it's going to swing back? Do you think
Yeah, I hope so.
Don Rickles Jr. is going to show up? And
I just think people are just getting smarter overall, more educated. I think there's always going to be. There's no doubt about it that there are people their mind does not work as well.
Right.
It's like there's kids that are fucking 2 and they got big glasses.
Right.
What is that? Well, their eyes don't work so fucking good. Some people are born deaf. I have a friend who was born deaf. There's a reality of the world. There's some people's minds are just not that good.
yeah.
You know, there's no doubt about it.
No, it's physical,
It's reality.
chemical
Some
makeup.
people have big noses. Some people have big dicks. Some people have fucking shitty brains.
Right.
Why you shitting on Mexicans? Here you go again, essay. There's no way around it, man. You're always gonna get dumb people. I do this joke, and I make fun of Italians, which I am.
Right.
3/4 Italian. And I had this guy yelling out at me, "Don't fucking be shitting on Italians." I'm like, I'm shitting on my own people. Fuck you.
Right.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Am I talking about you? Yes, I am. You know why? Because you're doing exactly what I was saying in my act.
Right.
You're yelling out, "Yeah, fucking Italians, what are you doing over here?" It's just that those are real people. It's not
Yeah.
all Italians. God damn, there's millions of them.
Yeah. But this whole thing, like, there are intelligent people, though, that kind of provoke this, don't you think? Like, there's people
Yes.
writing editorials and educated people who want to control human behavior by semantics, by kind of, they're going to set up their own rules, and you're going to have to abide by them.
Well, there's a lot of people that are unhappy and they have a green light to start talking shit.
Yeah.
And there's also people that are bloggers that are looking for a subject that they can legitimately find a reason to attack.
Right.
And they might not, if they weren't bloggers, they might not have even focused on it.
Right.
But because of the fact that it's a subject, it's like, do I really give a fuck about Kim Kardashian? No, I do not.
Right.
I really don't care.
Yeah.
But if I'm looking for a joke and she does something stupid, I'm like, all right, bitch. And then I
Right.
sit down in front of the computer and I concoct a bit.
Right,
You know?
right.
I mean, it is life.
Right. It's
This-
a culture.
But this is, I mean, you can't fault them in some ways because it is
Yeah.
what they do. But there's a really asinine viewpoint when you're looking at jokes and you're trying to pretend that this person is in court giving an affidavit and these are their actual thoughts on these subjects.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's got to be, and I think that's just the responsibility of the comedians. At the end of the day, you just got to stick to it.
Yeah. Well, do you remember when Patrice O'Neill, he was on this, I think it was a Fox News show, and it was back when Opie and Anthony got fired,
Yeah.
or they got suspended, I guess. And he said, and it was a really important point, he said, jokes that you are offended by and jokes that you love all come from the same place. Someone's just trying to be funny. Like,
Right.
you don't understand that because you don't understand funny. Like,
Right.
They're just trying to make you laugh, and some of them hit and some of them miss.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it
exactly.
goes.
And that's the scary part, is that you're in a club trying to make it hit.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're working out material, you'll say stuff you're working. It's going to take 6 months before this joke is even ready.
Mm-hmm.
And people are taping you 2 weeks in when it's ugly and you don't really know what you're saying. You're
Yeah.
just blurting stuff out. That's dangerous.
Well, you know, Chris Rock has that world famous joke, one of his best jokes ever, that I love black people, but I hate niggers.
Right.
And it was a
Huge.
bit. Well, apparently, Louis told me that bit took a year to work.
Oh, yeah.
And it used to bomb. It
I
just
believe that.
wasn't working. And if someone had been in the audience YouTubing that in the beginning when it was eating dick on
Right.
stage, he would have looked like an asshole.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and tell people, no, just
Yeah.
stick with me.
They
It's going to be funny at one point.
Blog about it, and not only that,
That's
but then the
scary.
joke gets released, it gets online, and it's like, which is really kind of a violation of what a comic is doing by working out a set.
Right.
If you see someone at the Cellar, if you see someone at the Comedy Store, at the Improv, most of the time, if you see a comedian like you or like me, we're working out stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing.
Right.
This is our gym.
Right.
It's our workshop. It's how these things, when you see it on Comedy Central, or if you see it in a headline club, you see it
Right.
at the Irvine Improv on a weekend, then you're seeing essentially a finished product.
Right.
But all that other stuff is like, that's how bits get worked on.
Yeah.
We need an audience. And I've done a lot of them that don't fucking work.
Oh, man.
And then one day they do.
Haven't you just been on stage and doing a stupid set in town, and you just say something completely just comes out
Yeah.
of you like
Yeah.
that retard,
Yeah.
or you know what I mean? I said something horrible about my wife's tits or something. It just kind of blurted it out. It's like I don't think that. I don't
Right.
even. I just
trying to be funny.
just right exactly.
You're spitballing. You're trying to,
Right.
and people will get angry at you about the contents of your imagination. It's like you don't understand. This is not.
Yeah.
This isn't. This is a performance.
Right.
This is not me as a human being giving you my well thought out and clearly analyzed views on life.
Right. And look, if you're a writer, any great writer, the greatest of the greats, take Updike, whoever, when you read their stuff, you're not reading a first draft.
No.
You're reading the 50th draft
Yes.
of them going to work on this thing. And a comedian is showing you his first draft.
Every time.
Every
Yeah.
time. He's up there like until you go see those big shows.
Ari Shaffir has this quote that he has taped above his keyboard from Hemingway. It says, "The first draft of everything is shit."
It's great. It
It's
means
so true.
everything. It means everything.
Artie Lang got in trouble recently. I don't know if you've been
Yeah.
paying attention. Were you paying attention to that?
Yeah, yeah. I saw him. I saw him right after.
He had this joke that he did on stage at the Cellar where he said that all this Ferguson stuff is really starting to fuck with my personal life. And he said, no, all these protests are really starting to fuck with my personal life. He goes, the other day I'm having sex with this black chick, and she goes, I can't breathe. And he goes, hey, let's not bring politics into the bedroom. And it's a fucking funny joke,
It's a
man.
great
But it
joke.
was too soon, and
Yeah.
and some woman got up and yelled out, "That shit ain't funny!" And she started tweeting about it, and I went to her Twitter page and just fucking followed it like a hawk because I thought it was fascinating. And she was getting all these people that were, social justice warrior activists that were gonna protest at the Comedy Cellar.
We're
and,
gonna show up at his clubs. We're gonna follow
Yeah.
him around.
Yeah, hilarious.
Oh my God!
What are
I
you
was
gonna
with
do?
him at the Cellar. We were sitting at the table upstairs.
What did he say
And he
about
was
it?
talking. It was before that. He was talking about the ESPN one.
Oh, that was another one he did.
Yeah, about that one. And
Which we read online or read on air. It was hilarious.
hilarious. And then he's going on about that. And then 2 days later, the other one. hit.
Yeah.
And then I was just like looking. I thought I was looking up the ESPN one. I was so confused. I'm like, wait, this is a different.
It's a totally new one.
But it was so great that he didn't stop. He just put it out. He just kept going. you
Yeah,
know?
he's doing it. I mean, that's what he's doing.
I mean,
that's what
Tosh.
he does.
I'm good buddies with Daniel Tosh, and he does a lot of stuff on his show that people would be like, "That's racist," or "You're talking about black people," just because he's big. And black audiences love him. Black comedians love him. And then other people come up, Mexicans and stuff, like, "Why don't you ever mess with us?" They want because they know it's a joke and it's fun to
Right.
laugh at yourself.
And it's his style.
Right.
It's once people sort of accept that that's your style. You're an insult comedian.
Right. And you
Like-
know the guy's
yeah.
heart. You know that he's
Yeah.
not a bad guy.
Sort of like what people want Jeff Ross to roast them. Like,
Right.
If you ask Jeff Ross to roast you, you're asking him to start insulting you.
Of course.
I mean, that's what he does. Everybody knows that's what he does.
Yeah. I worked with Rickles this summer.
Ooh.
So great.
Where'd you work with him?
I went to in Montreal. He was doing like one of the big gala shows. He was doing 2 nights.
So he was doing stand-up?
He was doing stand up.
Wow.
And
how much time did he do?
he did about probably like 45.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa. What
And,
was that like?
And then we threw a couple songs in and stuff like that.
He
It was,
sings?
it was the greatest. Yeah, he sings a song at the end.
What does he sing about?
It's like this one's. It's not "Thanks for the Memories," but it's something like that. Like
Theme-
a little, a little heartfelt and a thing.
Real?
Yeah.
Oh, to try to warm you up after you shit in
Yeah.
your mouth for an hour.
Exactly. Exactly. We all love each other. And I didn't get to meet Dangerfield, and I miss Carlin, and I was like, I just want to work with Rickles at some point.
Right.
And then it came up that I could work with him in Montreal, and I was supposed to go on vacation with my family, and I literally sent my wife and kids. I'm like, I'm going to be 3 days late to our family vacation.
Wow.
So I'm going to go work with Rickles. I had to. It's like, this is.
Yeah,
you
as
know.
a comic, that's an opportunity. It's
Yeah.
really hard to pass.
So I went up and worked with him, and it was so great to see. I mean, his references are so it's like, look at the Puerto Rican guy who's going to come at me with a switchblade. It's like, people are like, switchblades? What are you talking about? What is a switchblade? People are already offended by Puerto Rican. They're like, what is a switchblade?
A switchblade.
Yeah.
So funny.
Well, Puerto Rican is like, it used to be like almost like a negative term, but it's not anymore.
Right.
You know, it's like you can't call someone a Puerto Rican anymore. 'Cause
Right.
It's like, it's like calling someone French.
Right.
What are you, from France? What does that mean?
Yeah.
Are you from England? Huh? I don't get it.
But his thing was, he was so, he has such a history of it.
Yeah.
Everybody knows this is what he does, and he just
Right.
comes out and does this kind of thing.
So was he working the crowd the entire time?
Yeah, it was kind of a mix. Like he brought people up. He definitely, I think,
Brought people on stage
He brought
with
a couple
him?
people two guys on stage.
Wow.
He's not walking very well.
He doesn't walk very well?
No,
Bad
something's
hips or
happened to his
something?
knee or something.
Oh, yeah.
And
It's amazing.
they have
to
all these
stand up.
showgirls go up on stage,
Whoa.
and they do this big dance in the beginning of the show, and they do like the feather thing. You know, they all stand there with the feathers like a big scrim, and then they wheel him out, put him up on a stool, and then they all part. And there's Don Rickles. He just appeared, so you don't have
Wow.
to see him walking. And then he, look at the black guy over there. Look at the Jew over there, and he's doing Hitler and all this crazy stuff. It was great, but he's just, you know the guy so well. You just
Right.
know who he is, so it's not coming from hate. He's
Yeah.
just this playful kind of guy, and it was like, I hope that there's somebody that's going to be like that for our generation. There should be somebody that
I think so. I think like what you were saying about Tosh, what we were saying about Jeff Ross, like once you know what they do,
Yeah.
if you just have to know what they do. And there's going to be people that complain, but it doesn't matter. They get ignored, they get marginalized. It's like, and you're allowed to not like somebody, man. There's
Yeah,
plenty
of
of people that
course.
don't like all sorts of folks that I enjoy.
My whole objective those 2 days was I just want to be shit on by him. I was just lobbing stuff in. I'm like, Don, so but we're working together 2 nights, so like, after that we're gonna know each other pretty well. You think when we get back to LA we're gonna hang out? Don't push it.
Yeah.
Then I'm
Just
like,
waiting for him,
we're
right?
just totally. Then I'm like, Don, are you gonna watch my act tonight? I'd really appreciate it if you watch my act. I'm a little busy. And then after the show, I go back to his dressing room. What the cool thing was, you would love it. It's like old school show business just walked into the building. It's like, you've been in Montreal, those kind of thing. Everyone's doing shows all week. When it was his time for the show, guys in tuxedos are walking around, security guys are hanging out, old school guys with gel in their hair, and like show business is happening. This is the halls are cleared, and it's like there's music, classy music playing, and it's like, no, we're doing a show. We're not walking in and just getting up on. No, this is a show. It was so great. So at the end, I go to his dressing room. He's in his dressing room in a silver like silk robe, these little slippers. This is post show.
He wears slippers
These
after
little
the
slippers, like
show?
little gold stuff on the toes. And he's got all the makings for a martini. He's got the ice, he's got the olives, he's got the glass, the shaker, but he just shoves it all in his glass. He just puts it all, it doesn't even shake it, just puts ice, olives, and vodka, and he's sitting there drinking it. And I go back to see him. He's like, Tom, come here. He holds my hand, doesn't let go of my hand. It's just the greatest. He's like, Tom, I watched your show tonight. I watched the whole thing. Oh, thank you, Don. Thank you. Have you considered a career in grocery delivery? You go around, you deliver food, you make people happy. You throw in a joke once in a while to keep yourself from killing yourself. I'm like, this is better than the whole vacation I'm about to go on with my family.
Wow.
So much better.
Did you put pictures? Did you take pictures?
Yeah,
of
I
him?
got a couple shots.
Oh, that's huge.
Oh, it's just the best.
That's huge.
The best. This guy's been at it forever.
Yeah. I never met him. I would love to meet that guy.
It's a good one.
I never got a chance to meet Dangerfield, but I stood next to him a couple times.
You did?
Yeah. He was doing some sets at the Laugh Factory before he died.
Right.
Like, he performed up until like just a few years before he passed. And in the 90s, somewhere around the mid to late 90s, he was doing sets. Occasionally, he would drop in at the
Wow.
Laugh Factory, and I was really fortunate to be there a couple times when he did.
Did he live out here?
I don't know. I bet he probably lived a couple places. He
Yeah.
was pretty wealthy.
Yeah.
He
Why didn't you meet him though? You were standing next to him.
I was young and stupid, and I wasn't good
Yeah.
enough. I didn't
Yeah.
feel like I was good enough to introduce myself to him.
Totally
Like,
get that.
I was next to Hicks once when I was an open micer. I just didn't feel like I can introduce myself to him. It just wasn't good enough.
Isn't it crazy to think there's some kids standing next to you now? Like, I just can't. I just can't.
Yeah, if you're that kid, say hi. Especially if you're a
exactly.
comic, I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
You know, but there's a couple moments where, yeah, like I saw Hicks live.
Really? Where?
1, 2, 3 or 4 times. Probably 3 or 4 times. At least 3 times in Boston.
Really?
When I was a raw open micer. Like I had been doing comedy maybe 6 months, and I got a chance to see Hicks a bunch of times during
Jeez.
that time. It was awesome.
How good was he?
He was amazing, man.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Yeah, this was like the late 80s. He was probably in his prime. Because I think
Yeah.
he died in, I want to say like 93 or 94 he
Yeah,
died. So I
about
saw
right.
him when he was hopping. I mean, it was just, he was on fire.
Man,
He was so good.
I remember seeing him. I never saw him live. I saw him in Caroline's Comedy Hour.
Oh.
And just seeing how he was just like, at the edge of the stage, cigarette in his hand, just
Yeah.
like in some guy's face. Like, I was like, what the hell? This is.
It's been interesting to see how he evolved and grew because he was still
Yeah.
young. You know,
Yeah.
he was like 32 or something like that when he died.
Really?
He would, yeah. He would have gotten a lot better.
Dying
was-
makes you seem so much older.
Well, it makes you seem so much more legendary, too.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. When someone dies, like everything that they did becomes so much more important than if they had stayed alive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like if Elvis was still alive today.
Right.
You
You'd
know?
be like, oh,
Yeah,
you should
you know.
just wrap it up.
Yeah, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
John Lennon is so much more valued by most people than Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
You know?
Because Paul's showing up at award shows. And,
Yeah, he's like, hi, I'm still alive. I'm
Right.
like, all
yeah,
right.
we get it.
When you're dead, we're going to fucking love you, dude.
Completely.
I saw
Yeah.
Dangerfield when I was working, actually, before I was ever a comic. I got a chance to see. I worked at a concert place,
Oh, yeah?
and I was backstage because I was a security guard, and I was working in this backstage area where I got to see Dangerfield walking around behind the stage with his bathrobe on and his slippers.
Wow.
That's where he was performing.
Right.
He would perform in a bathrobe.
In the bathrobe, he'd go on
Totally
stage?
naked, just throw a bathrobe on and just
No.
go on. Yep. He went through a period of time.
I've never
But that's
heard
how
that.
he was performing.
That's crazy.
Yeah, when I saw him at the Laugh Factory, he was fully dressed. But he was doing this place called Great Woods. It's a concert place in Mansfield, Massachusetts.
Sure.
And this was like the height of his popularity. This was like back to school.
Right.
Like during those days.
Yeah, huge.
Because this was like the 80s. I want to say like 86 or something, before I did comedy.
Yeah.
I was probably 19, so it must have been about 86.
Right.
And he was just walking around with a bathrobe on. He would shuffle on stage with slippers. I get no respect at all. My wife, I'll tell you. And you just,
Carrying a drink.
I don't remember if
No
he was
drink?
carrying a drink. I just remember, look at this bad motherfucker wearing a bathrobe.
It's crazy.
And everybody wanted to talk about the fact that he had nothing on under the bathrobe. Nothing on. Under the bathrobe, he's totally naked. I saw his balls. Like he would just walk around. Is that him?
Yeah, there's that.
That's
There's a
great.
lot of photos of him where you could actually see his dick because he's just sitting weird and his dick's hanging out.
Yeah, he gave a zero fucks.
That's like, it's so weird to bring up his name just because the context is weird now. But like Cosby went through, he would just come out in like sweatpants and a thing and with socks, just socks.
Really?
Yeah, just come out with like Birkenstocks and take them off and just yeah.
Well, he
So
goes on
everything else
stage
was a
now
crutch.
with a sweatshirt on that says "Hello, friends" or "Hello, friend."
Really?
That's what he wears when he goes on stage now. He's got this like sweatshirt on that says "Hello, friend." Yeah,
I guess you just do it so long, you're just like,
I guess.
right?
I mean, the balls of that guy to still do shows while all this
God.
is going down.
I know.
Do you think he goes online?
No.
Yeah.
No, I think he had people that, right? Because remember when they put up that meme, they were like,
Yeah.
that blew up in his face.
See, I have my own theories about that meme, man. I think that somebody who works for him
Did it?
knew what the fuck was going to happen.
Oh, really?
That's my feeling, 100%.
And they just did it to get him?
Yeah, I think that anybody who works in tech,
Yeah.
anybody who designs websites, you're savvy.
Right.
You're internet savvy, and if you're one of those internet savvy people, you know what the fuck is gonna happen if you say meme me and you take a picture of him with a
Yeah.
hat on. You know, just let the
Yeah.
rape jokes fly. You know.
Do you believe in any of this stuff like the
There it
Illuminati?
is. Hello, friend.
Hollywood Illuminati. Like my Uber driver was completely. He thought for sure that like, oh no, Hollywood wants him out now. Like he did something, pissed somebody off, and they're going after him. And he had like this whole theory, and I'm like, that's
He wasn't
might be
powerful
true.
enough at that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, what do you make him go away? What?
The key is
He was like an old dude.
key to that sentence is my Uber,
Uber
driver.
driver, right? But
A
it was
guy who's not making the best fucking decisions, just picking up random strangers based on an app. Get in my car, man. Let me tell you what I think about Hollywood and the elite.
And what do you do in that situation? You just kind of agree with him to make the conversation
Suck his
go?
dick. You get a free ride. That's what you do.
yeah, he just had this whole theory, and he connected it with other celebrities that where he thinks like Hollywood's just done with him, so they
Like
throw him
who?
under the bus. He said Charlie Sheen. He
Oh,
said,
come on.
He said a
He's
bunch
an
of people.
idiot.
Yeah,
Charlie
I mean,
Sheen was on TV talking about smoking rocks.
Yeah.
And then from then, he went to get a deal with FX that netted him somewhere in the neighborhood of $500 million.
Yeah, an
He
instant
made some
syndication deal.
insane amount of money. I mean, I don't
They
know
really
how much.
got him.
What did he? How much did he make off that FX thing? It was some insane
It was
amount of
instant
money.
syndication. It was 100 episodes.
More than $100 million.
Yeah.
He made off of that stupid FX thing.
Yeah.
And it's a terrible show.
And no
that
one's-
anger management is a goddamn
No one even knows it's on.
slapped together by monkeys
Really?
with head injuries. It's awful. I mean, it's so bad. You watch the punchlines. You're like, what? $200 million Charlie Sheen experiment.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Come on. Well, they were riding on the
Wow.
waves of him leaving Two and a Half Men. Well, look,
Who were the other guys?
Two and a Half Men, some fucking executives that want to be seen. Look at me. I'm a big shot. I'm here with Charlie. We're going to do blow and get hookers, right, Charlie?
What are we gonna make? How about a fortune?
Yeah. Meanwhile, you guys fucked up the TV business, you dumbasses. They tried to do that deal with a bunch of other shows. They tried to do it with George Lopez, and it fizzled out.
Right.
Well, what they did is, if you get past a certain amount of episodes, they automatically pick it up for 100. You know,
Right.
that's-
They set it at 10.
yeah. If you get past 10,
Right.
they automatically pick it up for the back 90,
Yeah.
which is insane.
Insane.
But some dummy agreed to that based on the hype behind Charlie Sheen and the fact that he was doing live shows with no material.
Right. I forgot about the live shows.
Oh, how could you?
Yeah.
Kirk Fox
Kirk
was on
Fox.
one of them.
Was he?
He was
Oh
the-
my
he was the
God,
guy
that
getting
poor
booed.
bastard.
That's
They had not, but then our boy Russell saved it. Russell Peters started doing shows with them and saved it because Russell's an awesome comedian
Right.
and started interviewing Charlie and being funny while he was interviewing him. So Russell would crack some jokes, ask some questions, crack some more jokes, and everybody was entertained by it. And then Charlie could tell his crazy hooker stories in
Right.
the context of like a showbiz set.
Yeah.
Like
You're doing
Rus-
panel.
Yeah, well, yeah. Russell knows how to do theater. You know?
Right.
He knows how to entertain these people.
Right.
He's acutely aware that all these folks are watching. Whereas Charlie was just like, I'm just gonna go out there and be Charlie Sheen. And they're like, boo, give us our money. He's like, I already got your money. Like,
Oh, that's right.
Remember
I
that?
forgot about that.
Oh, those were awful.
Fuck you, I already
those
have your
sets
money.
were devastating. I mean, he was in a panic after
Yeah.
that, and that's when they brought in comics and started bringing comics on the road with him. And
God.
yeah, but that was riding the
crazy.
wave of that. They did this anger management thing.
Right.
And you know, the first couple episodes probably weren't so bad.
Yeah.
But it's fucking terrible.
Right. Yeah. So take that,
Well,
Illuminati.
they're writing 100 episodes, and it's not even their fault. They're
No,
writing 100
they're
episodes.
shooting 2 a week.
Yeah. So how much time do they put into these fucking jokes?
Right. You can't.
Almost none.
You
Almost no
can't.
time.
There's hardly any time if you do 1 a week.
Yeah, it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
Making a sitcom is fucking hard. I've
Super
done it. I
hard.
did it for 5 years.
Yeah.
It is not easy. It becomes easier once things get gelling.
Yeah.
But even then, man, writers fucking hit blocks. They don't know what. I mean, there was days like we were in news radio, like season 4. There was days where the script just didn't fucking work.
Right.
These writers had busted their ass and banged against the keyboards, and they just couldn't find a way to make this scene work. And they've abandoned whole scenes and put
Yeah.
in new ones and rewrite things the next day. You know,
Were you involved in writing at all at that point?
not writing, but I wrote a lot of the jokes that I said on the show. Like
did.
ad-libbed them.
Right.
See, what we do is on set, the way it worked with news radio, Paul Sims, who's the creator of it, was a genius.
Yeah.
Just a really, really smart guy.
Yeah.
But also, like, he had a really healthy ego. Like, it didn't have to be his words that were read.
Right.
So he would write things, and then Dave Foley was really like an uncredited producer of that show. Because Dave rewrote entire scenes. He rewrote jokes, wrote jokes for me and for Vicki Lewis and for Andy, for everybody. He rewrote stuff and then would present this new version of it. And Dave was like really respectful. It's like, we have this idea. Would you like to see it? And Paul was like, yeah, let's see what you got.
Oh, wow.
And then Paul would be like, I like yours better. Let's go with that.
That's great.
And so, like, literally 40% of that show, maybe even more, was ad-libbed on the set by either Foley or Andy ad-libbed a lot of stuff. I ad-libbed a lot of stuff. We wrote for each other.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes, you know, you'd see Andy doing something and I would go, why don't you say this? And he'd be like, oh, yes. You know, or Vicky or what, you know, whoever. It's like that sort of environment where you can all contribute. It just makes a better show.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but it's not always that you get a cast that can do that.
And think about that. Just those names that you're using, just those great, everyone's a killer.
Yeah.
And that's how difficult it is to just pull off a show. Having all those killer, all that talent.
Phil
and then,
Hartman, Stephen Root. And
yeah.
Stephen
Oh
Root
my God,
was one of the
Stephen
few that didn't write. He didn't ad-lib anything.
Yeah.
Stephen Root would get the script and he would, you know, he was a character. Like
Yeah.
if you talk to him, like you see him on news radio, you assume that he's that guy.
Yeah.
He's nothing like that guy.
Oh, no.
Like he's the sweetest guy ever. He's like so nice and normal when you meet him.
Yeah.
But, you know, he'd had this Jimmy James character was a character that he like
Right.
developed. Him and Phil Hartman were the ones who were like, they were like characters.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they had developed a character.
Now imagine doing 2 of those a week.
Yeah, it's impossible. I don't know how the fuck anybody would do it.
Right.
Not only that, but doing 2 of them a week without Dave Foley and without
Right.
Paul Sims. And
Right.
I don't, maybe the people that are writing that show are good. I don't know.
I don't know.
But also, there's no fucking incentive when you got 90 episodes picked up. It's like, let's just fucking mail this in.
Just go. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're stuck here.
Yeah.
So we finished 90
Well,
of them.
it's you've got the gig already. It's
Yeah.
like the gig's not going to go away.
Right.
You know? It's hard to pull those things off the air.
Yeah. Oh, man, that is rough. Forget it. Illuminati. I don't think the Illuminati's that organized. I don't know. I don't think.
I don't even know what
How do you-
the Illuminati is. I just consider it like Hollywood is what this Uber driver was talking about, like the big
Yeah.
Hollywood execs.
Yeah, but people always want to think that when it doesn't work out for them. That's the thing about Hollywood. Is that
100%.
they all want to think that there's some sort of grand conspiracy.
100%.
You know, but
You
it's-
know, I think that with whenever you talk to, you know, I'm around comedians all the time. So depending on who you're talking to, they'll say, "Well, they're not looking for white guys." And then you talk to your other buddy, he's like, "They're not looking for black guys because he's black." Well, they're not.
Right.
Well, Asians. There's only one Asian can get it. Everybody,
Right.
whatever you are, you think they don't want.
But if you can create something and that something is popular and that something is sellable and then people are buying it and everybody loves it. That's
Yeah.
one of the beautiful things about being a comic is that you can prove it on your own.
Yeah.
If you develop a following and you go on stage and you start killing it on the road and
Yeah.
everybody wants to come see you, they
Yeah.
want to do a show with Tom Papa. They're like,
Right.
Tom, what are we going to do? How do we get a piece of this money, Tom? Come on, Tom. They're trying to figure out how to profit off of what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Right. Exactly.
You know, this idea that there's some sort of a grand conspiracy. No, what you're selling sucks.
Right.
That's what you're selling is nothing.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah, no one's interested.
That's this conspiracy.
The conspiracy is it's
People are
not very good.
conspiring to only put things that they like on TV. Sorry.
Right. Sorry, you don't fit into that plan.
No, Bill Cosby is a part of a grand conspiracy. That's hilarious. They hypnotized all these different women and they got them to say the exact same thing.
And Randy Quaid. Did you see that video? Randy
he's
Quaid?
crazy as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Randy Quaid's crazy as fuck. What
Yeah.
happened?
He released a new
Nuts.
video today where he.
A new one today?
Really?
Well, I don't know if it's the same one. I just
The one
saw
with
it
the
today.
crazy white beard?
And he puts a mask on.
Yeah, that was a
and then
couple
he fucks
days
his
ago.
girlfriend.
What?
Simulates that he's
Yeah,
fucking her,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
bad acting.
Really?
Yeah, he's gone
Jeez.
nuts.
He went crazy.
Well, he went crazy a couple years ago.
Yeah.
He owed a lot of money, and there was like a house that he was living in. They kicked him out of
And
it.
he was
or
running from
something.
hotels. He went to the
Yeah.
San Ysidro Ranch.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
ever been
yeah,
there? It's
yeah,
a real
yeah. It's
expensive
great.
place.
I've
Great
been
place.
there. Beautiful
You
place.
you can crank up a real big bill in a couple days, and he stayed for
Yeah.
like 6 days and then split. Didn't pay it. He did that a couple places. Oh man, it got weird.
how it's, you know, when people get old, some people,
Yeah.
they have like a tendency for eccentricity. And then as they get old, that morphs into full-blown crazy.
Right.
You know, it's like you got a little bit of a cold, and the next thing you got AIDS.
Right.
You know?
What's really weird is that his girlfriend is, or
It's out of your control.
his wife is on board though. So it almost seems like maybe they're just drug addicts together instead of being a crazy thing. Because the fact that she's not like, my husband's going crazy, they might just be
Right.
up in
Yeah,
meth
it's
and stuff.
hard to both get on the same page
Good
with
point.
that.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
They might be methed up.
Yeah.
They're not using their drugs like
Wait
adults.
a minute, but no, they're actors. Just- Actors don't do drugs, man. This is crazy talk.
all that free time.
Charlie Sheen and his conspiracy. Get the fuck out of here. The guy was being interviewed on ABC talking about doing rocks.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Smoking rocks. Remember that?
Yeah.
That's how I roll. Like,
Right,
what?
exactly.
Like, get off.
Yeah, I know a
Tiger's
couple
blood.
girls that have signed the papers where they're not allowed to talk about the stuff that happened with Charlie Sheen because
Really?
he makes them sign confidentiality.
And does he give him money or something?
Just hanging out with them?
shitloads of money, like
Really?
most retarded amounts of money for doing nothing.
Like girls just to come hang out at his
yeah,
house?
let's just say that. But
Well,
wow.
he's a big fan of prostitutes. And I think when you've got the kind of money that that guy's got, I mean, he's been on several big-time series, a bunch of movies. He's probably worth close to $1 billion at this point, right? So when you've got that, like putting aside $100,000 for some little senorita.
Right. Nothing.
Listen, senorita, we had some strange times. A lot of people wouldn't understand what went on between you and me and the glass table.
They just wouldn't get it.
Let's
You
just-
and I love it, but
let's just-
they wouldn't
I
understand.
know you've got a transmission issue and you need to get your tires changed, and I'm willing to do that for you. Let's just put a little bit of sugar in your bank account.
Just sign this.
Just put a little sugar in your bank account. Yeah, I ran into this gal
God.
once at the
People are
at the
nuts.
comedy store back in the day with her new boyfriend that was one of the Playboy bunnies that lived at the house.
Right.
And she was apparently going to write some tell-all, but I don't know if she ever wound up doing it. But
Uh-huh.
you know, those stories where people have that sort of a situation where, you know, you're getting paid by some guy and there's like some money being exchanged.
Yeah.
Semi-prostitutional type situation. It's
Right.
like, those get weird. You know, you're dealing with some uber wealthy cat.
Oh,
who's,
man.
You know,
Yeah, it's
old
just-
and fucked up. And
Right. Like some crazy king.
yeah, well, he was like, Hugh Hefner's kind of like a crazy king.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
he's got
sure.
like this weird harem of young gals, and
Yeah. Walking around in his robe. I think the
Another
guy,
robe guy.
Another robe guy.
he's got a smoking jacket though. It's
We got to
not-
get robes.
Yeah, I know we need robes.
We need robes.
That's we should do a whole show in robes. Are you down?
awesome. I'm
that
totally
lady's
down.
that lady's making us those astronaut shirts.
I can't wait. That sounds
What are those?
awesome.
Do you remember that there was a scientist that got in trouble? They landed a comet. They landed a robot on a comet.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy who was celebrating it, he wore
Oh,
a shirt
right.
that his friend designed. It was his friend who's into like rockabilly sort of pinup girl type stuff.
Right.
And she that picture right there, that was like in homage to his friend
Right.
because his friend made him that shirt, and that's what she does. So he said, I'll wear your shirt on TV, and then all these people got so mad. Like, look at
It was
the
against women.
Scroll up. Look at the actual title is. I don't care if you landed a spacecraft on a comet. Your shirt is sexist and ostracizing.
Oh, God.
You fucking dummy.
His shirt is so badass. Also.
Yeah,
I mean,
not only
it's-
that, it's just sexy women. I mean, if he was wearing a shirt
Yeah.
with a bunch of He-Men, Masters of the Universe on it,
Right.
you know, Tarzan with his long flowing locks swinging from, would anybody complain?
Right.
Like
the
if
naked
the
Tom
girl,
Selleck could be on the back.
right? If that girl, if the girl interviewing him for whatever reason, if the roles were reversed, if he was the interviewer and she was the scientist, and she had a shirt on, like a bowling shirt with a bunch of like studly bodybuilder dudes on it, it would be funny.
Right,
I would wear it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Just have a good time. Enjoy your lives.
Well, these are just pinup girls. You know, they're just girls in like swanky
Yeah.
sort of
Like he invented that stuff.
fucking assholes.
No one likes to have fun anymore. Everyone takes everything so serious.
Well,
Just have a good time.
Who are you that's so upsetting to you? What's wrong with you?
Let
It's just
it
a
go.
fucking shirt.
Yeah.
It would be one thing if it was a bunch of chicks getting fucking double penetrated. You know, if it was like a bunch of chicks like getting just. You know what airtight is?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a friend And his friend was dating a porn star, and he was cool with it for a while. And it's like, oh, it's okay, you know, she brings home girls and all this different jazz. And, you know, what do you think about, oh, it's just sex. And then one day he got a hold of her contract, and the contract said airtight. It was like in the contract. And he was like, what's airtight? She's like, a dick in every hole. He's like, I'm out. That's it. Done.
Oh, my
it's
God.
over.
It's in the contract.
This is not my special lady. This is not my special. He just that was the breaking point.
I can't explain that one to my mom.
He was just sitting there going, airtight, and that was it.
I'm sorry. What does that mean?
Like he was cool. He was cool with her with 2 guys.
Yeah.
He was cool with her, but 3 was it. 3 was where he just
I'm out.
airtight.
Brutal.
Oh, fuck. It's like that's a sure sign there's too much porn being made.
Yeah,
Where
right.
You got to plug every hole. Has it been done? No. Plug them up. Plug it up. We're innovators.
Get that little guy. We got 2 ears to fill. And then there's
we
like a
need
lawyer
2
in an
midgets.
office drafting that contract.
2 midgets squirting lube in your ear and just grabbing the top and the bottom and just. And then the 2 midgets are making out. So they're gay. They're making out with each other while they skull fuck her ears, and another guy's fucking her mouth. And
Put that on a shirt.
it's probably been done. We're wrong. It's probably been done.
Absolutely.
I bet that's been done.
I don't think you can think up anything that hasn't.
Probably at this point.
Right?
It's probably Asian midgets.
In the what year was the first ass to mouth done? I mean, that had to be in the 2000s, right? That didn't exist. If you go back to the glory days of like Ginger Lynn and Ron Jeremy and
Right.
Peter North, there was no ass to mouth. They didn't have to. It was just people having sex. Okay?
Good old-fashioned good
It's like,
time.
Like when Don Rickles does a show,
Right,
and
show
afterwards
business.
he's got a silver robe on and slippers.
That's show business,
Show
baby.
business.
We didn't have to do what you do.
We don't have to do ass to mouth or airtight or any of this fucking midgets fucking your ear nonsense. These are gimmicks. It's what you rely on when you got no talent.
It's like Boogie Nights.
Yeah, right.
I don't do video. I make film.
I don't do video. Do they even make films anymore with film? They don't use film
No.
anymore, right?
Some do.
Do they?
They hardly do it for movies.
But you
For
could do-
regular movies.
There's some directors that only want to shoot film because they don't believe in the whole digital shit.
Like Tarantino, right?
Yeah, I think
But he's a
Tarantino's one
wacko.
of
He's a wild man.
I think
Yeah.
documentaries, a lot of documentaries, maybe still be on film. maybe.
Yeah,
I
Well,
don't
probably
there's a lot
not.
of photographers that believe in photography, like that it has to, like digital photography, like something's missing.
Right. That nobody else sees. It's like when people are like, no, you've got to use this gold cable for your sound system. It's gonna
No, you know, you can use an Instagram filter to achieve all that, you fuck.
Yeah.
You don't
for
have to-
free.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't.
It's like the new Star Wars movie. They're not using like CGI this time around, or they're using all
yeah.
like old school, like puppets and like how they used to do it. So
Yeah.
it's gonna
That's
be
pretty cool.
see how
I
it
don't
works.
know, man.
There is definitely an overload of CGI where you're just like, am I watching a video game at this point?
Yeah.
The guy who directed my last comedy special wanted to do it in black and white. He
Steven
wanted to
Spielberg.
Burr.
well, Burr did his in black and white, but I think he actually filmed it. I don't know, maybe he didn't. But
Right.
this was before that, before I even knew Burr was
Right.
doing his in black and white. And I go, but it's already in color. Like, why would we
Oh.
do that? Like, what? I go, that's like,
Right.
why not just draw it? Take all the frames and draw everything I'm doing.
Right.
Just do your best.
Just
Fuck
colorize
out
it.
of here.
Or just have an option to make it black and white by turning it off on your TV. You can make any special black and white if you
Yeah.
wanted to.
You can do that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If you fuck with the
Yeah.
contrast
Yeah.
and the color.
Color.
God, it's just so weird. This desire for the archaic to go back to the old
Yeah.
days.
Old timey.
Come on, I'm gonna put the fucking needle on the. By the way, that turntable that you got me, like it's not working, right? Do we ever do anything about that?
Oh, really?
What's wrong with it?
Jamie, get on the ball, son.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It wasn't working.
I got my daughter a turntable, and it didn't work. We had to bring it back. Then the other thing, and it starts skipping. It's like, yeah, this is why we stopped using this stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of shitty.
But
It's cool though.
it's
I like it.
undeniable that this sound is a little different.
It is
That's
different.
undeniable.
Yeah, it's
It is
comforting.
that.
Well, apparently there's a new Walkman that's expensive as fuck. It's a new Sony Walkman, and it's an MP3 recorder that is supposed to have like the most incredible premium sound.
Right.
And Sony just released this at the latest video show, Consumer Electronics Show.
Yeah, in Vegas.
In Vegas, and it's a big gamble because it's like more than $1,000.
Are you serious?
Yeah, here I'll pull it up and we'll try this little.
Well, did you ever
wacky
read
little thing.
Neil Young's book or read
Yeah.
about Neil Young's book? He has this.
Sony wants you to buy a $1,200 MP3 player.
Okay.
What's that sound?
Now you're hearing a sound?
It stopped.
Oh, it was on this cable.
Oh.
The cable does that?
Yeah. I
How
put the-
ironic, as we're talking about better sound.
Well, okay,
Yeah, ironic. Last month, Sony finally unveiled new Walkman MP3 player, which many have been expected for some time. People first got a look at the device at CES 2015, but it was a sleek design or excellent ergonomics that caught people's eyes. It was the price tag. The ZX2 priced at just under $1,200.
What the fuck?
For that's more than a phone, which already has an MP3 player.
Yeah.
Huh.
Huh.
I
Why?
don't get it.
Because
It's
it
being
sounds so great.
offered as the audiophile's choice, a new focus of the music, and well, see, I think that this kind of technology will exist in phones soon.
Right, that's the thing.
But to buy it as a handheld outside, I don't have a fucking thing outside of my phone. Okay, I have a phone. My phone has 128 fucking gigabytes.
I know.
There's plenty of goddamn songs in this thing, and I'm not buying something else.
No.
And if I took a MP3 file that was, say, recorded at 128 kilobits per second or
Right.
whatever, or twice that,
Yeah.
and played both of them, I really doubt most of us would even care or hear the difference
Yeah.
in it at all.
Well, you know what does matter though is really good headphones.
Yeah.
really good headphones matter.
Yeah, my kids can play like their phones. They'll play a song just in that speaker and just leave it, and it's and they love it, and it really drives me crazy. I just can't hear that like
Yeah.
lame quality. It just drives me nuts.
I have these earbuds from Shure.
Oh, yeah?
and they have like steel braided cables that are covered with plastic. They're like very expensive. And I was like, all right, let me just for a goof buy these things
Yeah.
and see if it makes a difference. It makes a big fucking
It
difference.
does.
Yeah, they have like drivers inside the ears,
Yeah.
like the little butt. They feel weird.
Hooked
they
into
fit
your
in.
phone,
Yeah, I plug it into my phone. It's fucking fantastic.
and it like blows
work
away
out
like the
with it.
regular.
Oh yeah, it's quite a bit
iPod.
better. It's quite a bit better.
Really?
But is it? I don't remember how much it costs. It was a lot of money though. But
Yeah.
is it like $1,000 better? I don't know.
Right.
It's
You know?
interesting, the driver thing, because Beats, when they were still together with Dr. Dre and Beats, they used their own special driver. A lot of people complained that it was really bassy and too much bass. Now that they broke up, I just got a new pair, and it's completely different. It's like it doesn't even seem like the same headphones, even though it's specific, almost exactly the same headphones I used to have.
They
But-
look the same, but it doesn't sound the same.
Right,
Better?
and they're Bluetooth now, so you just have these like awesome headphones. You can answer calls on them. I mean, it's great. It's
I
so
don't
cool.
understand. You guys are tech savvy. These LeBron, he's doing like the Beats wireless things, like
Yeah.
for working out. So if you're running though, that means you're like I run with a shuffle, connected, but that's not Bluetooth.
No, you can't do it with a shuffle, but you mean you
If
can.
I'm running through the streets,
An iPod Shuffle.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying?
Right.
Those little tiny ones with the clip on. Those
yeah,
are dope.
Just put them right on your waistband
I like
and
those.
go.
Good for
But
working
I
out.
But you
just-
can't use the wireless.
Not for that. No.
See, what you need is a fucking phone and a fanny pack. Everyone's scared of goddamn fanny packs. It's the way to go. You slip that sucker right in there, clip it down,
And go running.
Well,
do whatever
They
you gotta
have-
do.
You're running with your phone?
Yeah, I run with my phone.
That makes me nervous.
I don't really run though.
They have
I
those-
use for like running type stuff. I do everything on a treadmill or on a
Right.
elliptical. Not even a treadmill usually. Elliptical machine.
You're not running through the streets like a maniac.
I do plenty of pounding with my joints, hitting things. I
Yeah.
don't like to do extra pounding I think I'm already taking chances with my joints from kickboxing. I don't want to
Right.
fuck with it with all that other stuff.
Yeah. I'm getting nervous about running with my phone.
They have those cases. I have one that your phone goes in and it just goes on your arm, and
Those are good.
And you don't even
Yeah.
feel like you have it on there. You just-
Oh, really?
Do you have you don't have the plus though? You have the 6.
No, I went back down to the 6.
You have
Yeah.
the Plus?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I love it.
I feel like I got the 6, and I feel like I should have gotten the bigger one.
You know what's better? The battery life is tremendous. It's
true.
so
Oh,
good.
really?
The battery's good for like a couple of days.
I should
It's
have the
it's
wrong
really
one.
good. You know, like I can listen to music. I bring it to when I do shows. I have a Bluetooth hooked up to this little speaker. I set the speaker up in the green room. I play music with it, and then I get on stage. I record all my sets with it, and I can do 2 shows with that, playing the music, all that, taking pictures. No problems.
Really?
No problems.
The battery does go on the 6 when you're listening to a lot of stuff or watching stuff.
Yeah, it goes. I mean, the 6 is essentially the same battery as the 5. The 5S. It's the same battery. This
It is?
Basically the same battery life, but a larger screen, so it sort of counters. It might be a slightly larger battery, but a larger screen.
I always buy the wrong stuff.
Dude, you could get a new one. Give it away.
Let's give it to someone.
Give it to somebody. Give it to your kid.
Yeah,
You know?
I guess.
First world problems.
I always buy things twice. I'm never like think things through
I have
and like
another
make the
phone.
right purpose.
I have a podcast phone for the studio that's a Samsung Galaxy S5.
Uh-huh.
And there's parts of that I like better than the iPhone. It's
Really?
a little bit smaller. It's 5 inches instead of...
Is this just because you're friends with
This
Neil
thing's
Brennan?
like 5.5. No. I don't want to say anything that gets Neil Brennan in trouble, but he might not always use that phone all the time. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what you're talking about,
I'm
Joe.
not saying-
I
I'm
don't know.
not saying-
I don't know.
But what I
you're
like
saying.
about this, the Samsung, is this little bad boy right here. This thing, when it clips in place,
Yeah.
the phone, you can drop it in the toilet. It's fucking waterproof.
Really?
Well, they call it water resistant, but
Right.
the fucking thing can go underwater and be fine. Whereas
Jeez.
if this bitch goes underwater, it's a dead man.
Yeah, I
And-
know. There's nothing scarier than like having a glass of water next to your phone on the counter.
And it's got a heartbeat detector right there. You put your finger over there, and it shows your heartbeat.
To see if you're in love.
Yes. It's very important. It's a mood ring. Which you can do with apps now. They have apps where you put your finger over the... It actually measures... They have an app on the iPhone where it uses the flash from the camera, and it pulses on your finger and actually measures the heartbeats from reading with the camera lens and reading the light
Wow.
on your finger.
That's
Fucking
amazing.
crazy, right?
This is a great world we live in.
Yeah. What I like about this, though, there's 2 things that I like about the Samsung. First, the big one is you could take the fucking battery out and put a new one in. So if your battery runs dry,
Extra in your
bam,
backpack.
you put a separate battery
Fanny
in,
pack.
and you have a full charge instantly. Then, also, I like you can add memory. You can stick a little memory card in there, and you get an extra 128 gigs.
Yeah, but you don't seem as cool.
Who are you trying to impress, Tom Papa?
I don't know. Everybody.
I think there's no perfect phone, is what I'm saying. There's parts of this that I love.
So you
and
have
there's
2
parts
phone
of this.
numbers?
Yes.
Oh,
This is the studio phone.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But this is better.
Can I hold
in a
that?
lot. This is a better operating system. The
Yeah.
iPhone operating system is clearly better.
Right.
And the iPhone camera is a little better too. But that's pretty goddamn good. I mean, the difference between the Galaxy operating system and the iPhone and the camera and
Yeah.
the camera in this is it's
Pretty close.
You're kind of splitting hairs.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels the same.
Brian disagrees.
I disagree.
Have you fucked
What?
with the S5?
You're all Apple.
Have you fucked with the Galaxy S5?
No, but I've heard a lot of complaints about the S5, especially with the thumbprint sensors. Not really the best.
Oh,
the
really?
thumbprint sensor is dog shit.
I
Yeah.
do love that about
It's
the iPhone.
great on the iPhone. It's
Yeah.
dog shit
Oh,
on that
really?
thing. Yeah. Like, I'll show you. Watch. I have to do it like 4 times. Watch this shit. Watch. Here we go. So look, it says, swipe the entire pad. Why you have to tell me that? Okay, I'll swipe it. Oh, no match, you fucking cunt. Oh, no match again, you fuckhead. Let's see it one more time. No match 3 times. It's my thumb. I only have one of them. Oh, you fuck! 5 unsuccessful attempts to unlock your device. Try again in 30
All right,
seconds.
so you're-
That's it. I'm out.
You
Yeah.
shit.
I'm out.
You're-
I couldn't go through that. I really
You
couldn't.
fucking piece
I
of shit.
really couldn't.
Son of a bitch.
You're getting chased down an alley trying to call 911 while you're doing this crap. Or
Anything that's
the best thing is
slightly-
just go on a road trip, have both phones, try to use that on the way to somewhere, try to
Yeah.
use the iPhone on the way back. You'll know what I'm talking about. It's
Right.
just crap.
Yeah, I can't even. Okay,
Case closed, counselor.
1 second. Let's see. 1 second. Let's see if I can do it. Swipe faster, Sammy.
Anything.
Recognized. Oh, you recognized me. Oh, you love me. You love me. That's so cute.
We like it, Joe.
It's disgusting.
Now, did you
I have a
do
thing on
both
my-
thumbs though?
What's that?
Did you do both thumbs? Are you using like the wrong thumb? Like you only did one thumb and not the other thumb, maybe?
How many thumbs are
No,
you
man. No. I use one thumb. I only use one thumb on this
Okay.
fucking piece of shit.
I open my laptop at home, and there's my Wi-Fi, and then there's the printer Wi-Fi, and it just goes to the printer Wi-Fi. I open it up, and then I go to, and it's like just that having to go and change it from the printer to the thing every time.
You just forget
It's
that
making
network.
me. I might move.
You should kill somebody.
You know, and
bullshit.
I literally physically am at the table like,
Like in anger. Yeah, but I mean, the idea of even having a fingerprint sensor on your phone was so sexy just a little while ago.
I
When they
know.
came out with that, was this the first one that had the fingerprint sensor with
Yeah.
the iPhone, or the last one?
the five.
Five.
5S?
had it.
Yeah.
The
5S had it.
5S, like the
S.
upgraded 5
Right.
had it.
Yeah,
I love the fingerprint sensor.
Oh yeah.
it is.
Did
good.
you know that cops can force you to use the fingerprint sensor, but they can't force you to enter in your code?
Wow.
So if you ever get arrested, delete all of your fingerprints.
I have a great tip I just found out that it's really scary is that turn off this thing. You know, like if you have like your phone up and you go up like that, and and you have like that quick menu.
Right.
Say like you lose your phone, somebody picks it up, they put it in airplane mode so you can't find your phone. They steal your phone, so there's no way for the Find Your Phone app to find you. So you need to turn off this swipe up menu. Because that's what they do. Like if you
risk
leave a phone in a taxi, the taxi guy goes,
Well, he
airplane mode
knows
on.
now. Now he knows, Brian.
Yeah, now that you're sharing
You just
that information
enabled-
with the terrorists.
Jesus Christ, Brian.
Brian.
That does make sense, though. They
Right.
can't use the Find Your Phone because
Right.
people have gotten their asses kicked from that Find Your Phone.
Oh,
Yeah.
Where someone stole your phone. You ding dong. Excuse me, you have my phone? No, I don't know what you're talking about. Bam, bitch! I got to Find Your Phone app. You fuckhead. They can only find the address. They can't find like what room it's in.
Right.
You have to tear someone's goddamn house
Go
apart.
through the whole hotel.
I mean, how accurate is it? It's not like one of those like
No, it's
James
pretty
Bond homing devices.
How motivated are you for your phone?
Like, what if it's an apartment building in Manhattan?
It's
Right.
pretty accurate, Joe, because on my house, I can see exactly what room I'm in if I look
Really?
at myself.
How does
Yeah.
it? What does it show you?
It shows me the outline of my house in Google Maps, and then it shows me what room I'm in my house. Yeah.
Really?
What room your phone is in?
Yeah. And I'll use
Whoa.
that. Like if I can't find my phone, I'll go on my laptop and make it play a sound, and I'll find my phone like underneath the couch or something like that.
Jeez.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so-
I
you
did
can
the-
make it play a sound even
Yeah.
if it's off, right? Even if the sound, the ringer's off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. There's also another app I recommend called Secret, which is another one that I put on all my phones and my laptops and stuff. And what it is, it's a program that's always running that does the same kind of thing, but you could also turn on your webcam and take photos. So if somebody stole your laptop, they won't even know that you're just sitting there filming them, getting their GPS, get every single key type that they type in.
Or your girlfriend can put that shit on your phone and catch you beating off.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Hey, it always comes back to bite you. I did the Find Your Phone. It's like my friends or something to see where my daughter was, and it's not that accurate. It's always like
It said she was in a black neighborhood, and that's just not.
it can't be right. That's just bad technology.
It didn't make any sense. It made no sense.
Tell me you were at school, honey. Right? You were at school.
It's way more accurate if you're connected to a Wi-Fi network. Like if she's not connected to a Wi-Fi network, it has to try to guess where it is.
But it doesn't work on airplane mode, huh? That's weak.
Yeah,
That's
they need
a-
to change that, or they need to make it so your thumbprint, if it's locked, you can just
Right.
access that menu.
I love that swiping up thing though to use the flashlight. I use the flashlight all the time.
There's
Like,
no way I'm turning off that up swipe thing.
yeah, that swipe up thing is pretty dope.
I just wonder
Yeah.
if you could turn it off, from the lock screen. Like if it's on a lock screen.
But I like to use the camera from that.
Or just put your
Camera.
thumb and then use it.
Alarm.
Yes. All these things.
I can't. I gotta do 2 steps.
God damn it.
Can't handle that. I'm very busy.
Give a little, they take a little back. Well, these things are constantly improving. They're constantly innovating and adding to them. And
Yeah.
that sound thing that you see on that Walkman, you'd be a silly person to buy that stupid $1,200 Walkman.
Oh yeah.
Because that's going to be in your phone soon. That
Yeah.
sort of. I know they're working on that. They're working on improvements. I read something about the digital cell phones working on improvements of sound quality in anticipation of these type of devices.
right. You know what I want them to do? Do you use Apple Pay? Do you use that where
Yeah.
you wave the phone? You wave the phone and it pays. I want them to fix the toll system at LAX. You ever get in the car after a gig or whatever, and then you're like, there's that line and nobody has the thing and they can't find the card and it just takes
Right.
forever to get out of there.
Yeah.
It's like you can't tell me there's not going to be an app and a waving of the phones that's going to solve this problem. We should be out of here immediately.
Do you remember when the Fast Pass in New York passed through and you could just drive through? You didn't have to pay the tolls.
Amazing.
People were so excited. You just had to drive. The
Yeah.
green light went on. You went right through. It saved so much fucking time in traffic.
So much time.
Because traffic in New York on toll booths used to be insanity.
Hell.
You wanted to fucking eat a shotgun.
Have you ever rented a car in New York and realized you didn't have the fast
Just
pass?
drive through anyway.
Me too.
Ring that bell, bitch.
That was always cool.
Good.
I'm not staying in that
Fuck
line.
you. Bill me.
Joe always did the pimp move. Like he would have a rental car and he was like, "What? Tow? Man, drive right by." It was so cool. I was like, "Damn, that's so awesome." He doesn't give a fuck.
That's a man.
You get a bill in the mail, you pay it. Who gives a shit? I don't even pay my bills. Somebody else pays them. I don't give a fuck. I don't even feel it.
Yeah.
You have a business guy?
Yeah. Gotta get one of those.
Is it great? I just met a guy
glorious.
yesterday.
Well, my guy's a good friend that I've had for a long
Right.
time. You want to know the dude.
This guy knows, like, he's worked with other good friends.
That helps.
But does it make your life that much better?
Oh, most certainly.
It does.
Yeah. Well, it's for everything, too. Like,
Right.
if you want to buy a house, if you want
Right.
to buy a car, if you need... They take care of your bills. They take care of everything. They give you an itemized monthly report every week on your or every month on
Yeah.
your finances.
And you don't have to worry.
You don't have to think about anything.
That's great.
We just
sounds so
there's a
great.
lot of time involved in being a human being that takes away from work that you could be doing that actually makes you more money.
Right.
So when people say, "Oh, but you're giving away X amount of percent of your
Right.
income," yeah, but I'm making more money because I'm thinking more and I'm doing more, and I don't have
Right.
to sit in front of my fucking computer paying bills for
Opening
hours
up
every night.
envelopes and-
Ugh. Writing checks and trying
Yeah.
to keep track. And remember balancing a checkbook? What the
God, in your,
fuck kind of
I never
dog
got
in your
shit
ledger,
is
you have a
that?
little ledger.
Yeah.
No, I feel like so tapped out for time. I've got I need a staff, and this
Yeah.
this seems like
Yeah.
a good first spot.
Well, you're a comic and you have a family too,
And a
so
family.
there's a lot of stuff. I have too many things going on. I
It's
don't have
too
any time
much.
for that. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna do it. Joe, I'm broke.
Well, listen, well, that has happened too. You know, there have been guys that have been unscrupulous. I remember there was an issue way back in the day where there was an agent that was stealing money from a bunch of like big name clients. Like Lenny Clark got hit. They stole like hundreds of thousands of dollars from him and Jerry Seinfeld. It was like,
really?
Yeah, there was an agency that was going on that was doing that for people. I forget. I'll have to ask Lenny next time I see him.
Yeah.
But it was devastating
Wow.
for a lot of these guys. They'd lost just hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh my
Somebody just
God,
Dan Cook's brother.
Oh, yeah,
brutal.
Yeah, that was bad.
that was really brutal.
He's in jail.
Yeah.
Imagine your brother is in jail for robbing you, and they have never recovered millions of that money.
Well, there was a lot that was owed to the IRS too.
There's a lot owed to the IRS, but there's missing
gone.
money.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, his brother stole money from him and went on a drive across the country, and they don't know what the fuck he did when he was driving. He could have stopped at banks and
Oh, my
got security
God.
boxes under assumed names. I mean, I don't know how much is involved in getting a security box at a bank, but
It's
there
like
might be.
Shawshank. It's just buried by a post.
I mean, there might be fucking, coffee cans somewhere under fence posts with $1 million rolled up in it.
I'm gonna find it.
I mean, have you ever seen what $1 million looks like in a bag of like
No.
$100 bills? It's not as much as you would think
How
it
big?
is.
You've seen it?
It's like a suitcase, like a small bag. All you have to
Right.
do is just you dig a fucking hole, you throw that shit in there.
Brother.
You just got to be able to triangulate it on a GPS, and oh shit.
That is an
You get,
awful
imagine
story.
you get there and there's an apartment building where the spot was.
Oh.
Where's the,
Fuck.
Dime,
where's
dime,
my
dime.
bag? I just did 20 years in the big house. The big house. Calls it the big house. Where's my bag of money?
Oh, that's an
fucked
awful
up.
story.
What's fucked up? Because it was his brother, too.
And he found out after his parents passed.
Yeah.
Right.
Right after.
Oh, that's brutal.
Well, he also, I think it was his half brother, which you should be really careful of, those little fucks.
yeah.
Half brothers. They're not really brothers. They try to pretend they're your brother.
What's the other half? That's what I want.
Where's the other half, you fucker? But his brother apparently, Dane was like, I'm gonna start investing my money, all those different things. I talked to this guy, and his brother's like, no, don't do that. Look, I got this. Don't worry, I'm taking care of everything.
Oh, really?
I'm making plenty of money. He's like, well, what do you mean I'm making? Like, and so he started asking questions. Well, look, I want to get somebody to just go over the finances. Oh, no, I got everything. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. He's like, what? And then he started getting like super nervous. Like, what are you talking about? And then he started to get it investigated. And when he got investigated, he realized his brother had been just fucking stealing.
Oh,
Like, they went to his house. He had hundreds of thousands of dollars in his bank. Like, he had a safe, rather. Yeah.
after all that success,
He had
all
money.
that work.
He had money that was in plastic bags that was frozen in tomato sauce. Like, he had frozen it and put it in the freezer, stuffed it in like these plastic bags, and then put it in his freezer. Like, he was hiding money all over the place.
Oh my God,
Yeah, it was dark.
that is crazy.
Yeah, and it was his own blood. You know, he trusted his brother. He thought his brother, he'll never fuck me. But you know,
Yeah.
I guess his brother was like, this fucking guy doesn't need all this money.
Oh,
The fuck is he? He's not even that funny.
God.
Fucking stole from him.
Oh man,
Yeah, it's dark.
that is really dark. All right, maybe I'll do my own build.
We got him up, we got him down. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's real tricky when you're trying to save money like that. When you're trying to.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, I wouldn't stop being on top of it. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like, I know
right.
where all my save. You know what I mean? You're kind of monitor that stuff all the time.
You should. You most certainly should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's all just all for the kids. It's just all like, it's all setting them up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Do you
so
have like
that
funds
stuff
and
is-
everything?
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
all like, it's all just for the future. Small. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
It's
not
just-
like I'm in these crazy accounts where someone could like mess with me.
Yeah, I know people that don't even have managers. They just have an agent, and they, just do everything through their agent. They have agents take care of everything. I'm like, but, like I'm saving money. I'm like, yeah, you are, but you have to think about more stuff that way.
Right.
Yeah.
I know. It sucks up so much of your brain power just to have to go and do that stuff.
Also, I think that if you think too much in a financial sense, like how much am I making? How much more can I make? I can get this out of them. Well, I'm going to ask for that, and hopefully I'll get like less, but I'll overshoot. But if you have all that kind of thinking going on in your head, I think that's like contrary to creative thinking. I think creative thinking is like non-selfish, non-aware. Like when I think like creatively, I'm empty. When I sit in front of my computer,
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about myself at all. I'm
Right.
thinking about the idea. I'm not thinking, how much money can this idea make me?
Right.
You know?
Right, exactly. It's that's back to the weed thing,
Yes.
because I really started feeling like I'm uber responsible and I'm running this company.
Right.
I'm running this
Tom
company.
Papa Incorporated.
Tom Papa Incorporated, doing the radio show, doing the TV stuff, doing the stand-up stuff, doing all this, managing all this stuff, taking care of the family, taking care of everybody, all these human beings, doing all this. And I'm like, if I don't start smoking weed, I'm going to literally turn into IBM. Seriously. I'm like, not all the time, but I need to,
I'd like writing high. I write my best stuff when I'm high.
original stuff or punch-up stuff?
Both.
Both.
I mean, I write without it, too. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of times when I write, I just sit down and write.
Right.
And sometimes those ideas are great jokes or great ideas or great bits. But,
Yeah.
but there's stuff that comes to me when I'm high where I'm like, this is just a gift by the universe.
Right.
There's just something just came to my head that I don't think I would have come up with without the weed.
No. It kicks open these doors.
Yeah, I mean that's like a famous quote by Carl Sagan. Carl Sagan had a famous quote about what marijuana does to you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there's like here I'll find it. There's like a famous quote. I mean, Carl Sagan was like a known pothead.
I didn't
A
know
lot of-
that.
Yeah. I'm convinced that there are genuine and valid levels of perception available with cannabis and probably with other drugs, which are, through the defects of our society and our educational system, unavailable to us without such drugs. Carl motherfucking Sagan.
Wow.
Smoking weed, using a telescope, lighting bitches' brains on fire.
Billions and billions.
Billions and billions of stars.
Billions. Do you like the new Cosmos?
Yeah, love it.
It's great.
Yeah, he's amazing.
My
And
kids got into it.
Well, he's another one. Neil deGrasse Tyson, like, in making that show, has taken so much shit from creationists and from fucking people that you should show the other side as well. How about having a creationist debate you upon your program?
God, they wouldn't run it in Kansas, right?
Yeah,
One of those states
One
that-
of those.
They literally, the first week it was like, oh, they said it was just didn't happen.
Really?
And then the second week it was like, oh no, they're not running it.
Is that true?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
it a station?
Yeah, there was
Oh
like
my
in
God,
like
I gotta Google
Yeah,
that.
Google it. It was like the
Yeah,
premiere
so
of it.
Cosmos did not run in Kansas.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes.
God, idiots. God.
They didn't run the premiere episode, and they were like, they said like it was a problem with something, like the broadcast or something, and then
What is
No,
that?
it's false.
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 Oh, you fucking purveyor of bad information, Tom Papa.
It's I saw an interview.
Dare you?
I saw
I saw it online.
what's his name? No, what's his name?
Who said
Seth
it?
talking about it.
Seth Rogen?
No, the other Seth,
Seth
the
MacFarlane?
dancing one,
Who's that?
Seth MacFarlane.
MacFarlane.
Well, he's full of shit. He's probably high.
Pending a bill, it would force Fox Television Network.
Mm-hmm.
That's too many words. What's it say?
Goes down more.
Might have been about a law, though.
That's about a law. I'm not wrong.
I'll keep checking.
All right, thank you. You have a crack staff here.
Well, he gets a lot of shit, though, for sure. He gets a lot of shit from creationists.
Man,
There's a lot of people that are upset with him because he's illuminating people on the actual facts and measured reality of the internet.
Yeah,
of the
universe.
of the universe, rather.
George
Yeah.
Carlin said that he would he would come up with his ideas straight, but then make it all funnier and punch it up high.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, everybody's got their own method. That's not a bad method. Just
Yeah.
for me, I like to write high as fuck sometimes because when I write high as fuck, like sometimes I'll get high as fuck and I think I'm going to go into the isolation tank.
Right.
And my computer just goes, come here, man. Come here, sit down.
Right.
And then I just sit down and I start writing on the computer and I never make it into the tank.
Really?
An idea comes
Yeah.
and it just gets out of my head like in these big bursts. And I
the
feel
best.
like yeah, and I feel like you gotta capture those moments. You know, you gotta figure. That's why I think it's very important for comics to be able to type well. There's a lot of
Yeah.
comics they peck and poke, and you miss out
I
on
know.
ideas because you can't grab them out of the air quick enough.
Yeah. Do you ever write longhand?
No, I mean I do,
Yeah.
but when I write, like it's like all this shit,
Like
like
real
during shows and stuff, or I have an idea that I don't want to forget.
Yeah.
Most of what it is just like really quick cliff notes.
Right.
Or when I have my notebook that I use for shows, I just write the same things down over and over again. Like if
me
you look at my notebook, I'll look like a crazy person.
Me too. Exactly.
Because I'm just trying to remember the order and make sure that I get the key punchlines,
Yeah.
especially like on new stuff.
It's like The Shining. It's just
Yeah.
like page after page of the same stuff. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Do you use notes on your iPhone?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do that.
What
I
do you
a
call
lot
that
of
file?
notes.
Is it called? Mine's called Funny.
No, it's just this, just notes. You know, just this little notepad thing. Like I got one here that I had to write yesterday
Yeah.
about racial profiling. And yeah, I have a lot of them. You know,
Yeah.
these are all things that are just written down.
Oh, they're all random. Yeah, I put
Yeah.
them all in one file.
Oh, do you?
I put them all under Funny, and it's a very low percentage of what actually gets turned into a joke.
Right, but it's like you got to throw a lot of shit up against the wall.
Yeah.
Do you record your sets?
I do.
Yeah, I record.
do.
I used to use this voice memos thing that comes with the iPhone,
Yeah,
but I
that's
found
weak.
that it crashed a couple of times.
Yeah.
It fucked me.
And it's not good when you're
No. So
gonna
I use-
listen to it and go over stuff.
I use this one. It's way more dynamic.
Recorder?
No, it's a pay one. You have to pay for it.
Oh,
It's called
jeez.
VRP F full, VRP 7 full.
What the fuck?
Wow.
That is high tech. Does
Yeah.
it make your joke sound funnier?
Well, I looked for the one that got the best reviews.
Right.
All the people that are like serious fucking audiophiles
Right.
love this one. They think it's the most flexible, has the most shit doing.
I record all mine through a $1,200 Sony Walkman. You may have
Oh,
heard
good
of it.
move.
Yeah, it's really
like
good.
High quality and
Such really high quality.
you're an audiophile.
Yeah.
I'm a foodie. I'm gonna kick people in the dick when they tell me they're a foodie. Me and my
such a
wife are
gross
foodies.
term.
Why don't you guys get the fuck out
I
of here?
hate that term.
You're a foodie, Joe. You always post like the most sexiest steaks and like you're
I love
cooking.
food.
He likes food.
Who doesn't love food?
You'll call it a foodie.
I'm not a fucking foodie.
It's the worst term ever. It's like feety pajamas.
Well, it's people that are like kind of snobbish about food.
Right.
I always like, or that's what they long for more than anything. Is just
Right.
go. That's an element of life. I'm not a wino either,
Right,
but I like wine. You know.
I'm an oxygenaire.
Yeah, a wino. That's what we need in this studio, man. We need some wine. We don't have any wine in
Wine
here, do we?
rack. Get a big wine rack.
Do we
Wine's
have
a good
wine?
idea.
might be a little bit of like Manischewitz.
The jeez.
Ugh, Manischewitz. That's not
boy.
even wine. What is that?
boy.
That's-
That would be cool if you had a really nice wine rack on one of these walls.
You know, we
It would
should
actually
Warm
be
in
cool.
here though.
Yes,
hot in
that's
here.
what I was gonna say. What we should get is one of those wine cooler little refrigerator thingies and put some wine in there. I enjoy a little glass of wine
Mm-hmm.
while you're doing a podcast, like some podcasts.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
I
like
like
a little,
that idea.
little whiskey on ice.
I thought it was going to
little
be colder
wine.
in here.
Why is that?
I don't know. I was watching at home and I was trying to size up.
I'm gonna turn on the air because it is hot.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes you come to places and it's cold.
Well, you know what it is? We have a lot of electronic equipment running.
Yeah.
We have all that shit over there.
Don't you have to
the
keep that cool, though?
TriCaster. I mean, cool enough.
Right.
It's not like 80 in here. I mean, it's like 75 or something. It's like 3 degrees above perfect.
Right.
And we're like,
it's an LA.
"Yeah,
It's an
I
LA
don't
thing.
like it. This ain't nice.
People in New York are eating hail.
They're fucked, man. Those people are fucked.
Oh God.
Again, it's
I
hitting
just-
them again right now, right?
I know. I was just in D.C. and man,
Fuck all that.
I know. I can't go back.
I was booking shows and I was like, "What am I doing? I'm not going. I don't want to go to Ohio right now." So I'm like, just West Coast
Yeah.
right now.
But I don't mind visiting, man.
Yeah,
because
coming
I think,
in.
Yeah, visiting in the cold, like I was in fucking Sweden in January, dude.
Wow.
You know, and it's cold as shit, but it was fun.
It's fun because
You
you don't
know?
have to stay.
Yeah, you drop in, you have a good time, you get the fuck out of Dodge.
Make a couple jokes about their weather.
Yeah.
Hit
You
the road.
dummies. See ya.
I was talking to Joey Diaz last night, and he was just like, "I just got back from Ohio. The sun doesn't work there. It was daylight. The sun did nothing. It was fucking
The
cold."
sun does not work. You understand me, cocksucker? That's so true. We're so spoiled, man.
I know.
Like me and the wife talked at one point in time about living in Seattle, and there was like we had a real discussion. We even looked at a house. There's a house that we really liked, but I'm like, you gotta tell me that you can deal with this shit, because I can deal with a lot of shit that you can't deal with.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you can deal with this. Like, you got to be able to
This-
deal with clouds,
all the
nothing but
time.
clouds, and fucking rain. I don't want to hear any crying.
It breaks strong people.
Oh.
That weather.
I want to go back to LA. Let's just sell the house. You fucking crazy bitch.
I'm just sad and I don't know why.
Oh God! Take vitamin D. Get in a sunbed. Shut your hole. I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
the last couple trips I've had up to Seattle, I just have hit beautiful weather. It's been just sunny and great. The last 3 weekends I've been up there.
I'm in Portland in a
And-
couple weeks.
Yeah, another right.
Yeah.
And I'm telling people, I'm like, it's really great. I mean, it just seems like that. And they like get this dead look in their eyes and like, it's not like this all the time.
You're so lucky.
Yeah, the
But the
Nike
summers-
CIO just quit
Did he?
from Portland because
Oh,
of this-
really?
yeah,
Can't
because
take
of the
anywhere?
weather. He's like, "Fuck
really?
that! I'm the chief. I'm the CIO, and I still want to quit." because of the
Really?
weather."
You ever go to the
Because
Nike
of the weather,
factory
he
store?
said
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Wow, that's like a big gig, man. That guy's making a lot of money. And that's not like you're Tom Papa. Like if you're a
Right.
comic, like if you're Tom Papa, there's only one Tom Papa. If someone's a Tom Papa fan, you've got to do it.
Right.
Like you got to do that job.
That's it.
But if you're fucking the CEO of a company, like guess what, fuckface?
Right.
They can get some. There's a bunch of those dudes waiting for that gig.
That's right.
Yeah, the guy that's running Foot Locker would be happy to come over and run Nike. You know?
You ever go to the Nike store, the factory?
Yes.
That's
Well,
a-
I've been to the Nike, the Celebrity Center thing where they take you to the place and they give you the free sneakers.
That is the bane of my celebrity existence.
What is it? The Nike store?
I can't get into the Nike store in LA.
I don't go anymore.
I wanted to go since the beginning of my career. I just heard about it. You go and you get all this free stuff.
Yeah.
I've done shows. I've been in Nike. I just shot a Nike commercial. I can't. It just something always falls apart, and I can never go.
You know when I stopped?
When?
I felt guilty about wearing other sneakers. I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, they're not even giving me money, and I feel bad because I'm wearing Adidas. I'm like, this is stupid. So I just stopped going. I'm like, I'm not
Right.
broke. I can afford a goddamn pair of sneakers.
Right, exactly.
Plus,
How many do I need?
I buy everything online.
I
I
know.
love buying shit online.
I-
It comes to you. You don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to shop. That's more time out of my day that I don't
Exactly.
have to dedicate.
I love sitting at Amazon, like with my iPad at night, and going, "Oh, I'm out of those eye drops.
Bink.
Bam! I'm out. We need more toothpaste. Bam!"
Yeah.
And you just
I
and it
bought
just shows
athletic
up.
tape today. I bought 12 rolls of athletic tape.
It's great.
I know. I just do all the heavy stuff like cat
I'm
litter.
not going to a store.
I like cat litter,
Yeah.
like 2 liters of pop. Anything that's heavy that I'm like, why am I carrying this? I'd rather waste gas.
Yeah. Well, you
Extra
know
gas.
that the pellet grills that we got from
Yeah.
Green Mountain Grill?
Yeah.
I just bought a fuckload of pellets. It's beautiful. You know what a pellet grill is?
No.
Oh, it's glorious. There's a couple companies, Traeger, Yoder, Green Mountain Grill's the one we have. And what they are is they take these hardwood pellets. Now, when like if you buy like this table is made out of oak, and someone had to saw this table down, and when you're sawing it, it creates a lot of sawdust. They take that sawdust and they compress it, and the natural sugars, just in compressing it, make these things stick together and into pellets. And you could take the pellets, you kind of break them in your hand. They're not like it's not like a hard piece of wood, but it is a hard wood.
Right.
And so you take these pellets, you pour them into this bucket, and it's super efficient. Just like a small box, like maybe 2 foot square. Of these pellets will last for fucking hours and hours of cooking.
Really?
And it regulates the temperature perfectly, and you can grill on it. It works as a smoker. You can slow cook food on it.
And you have to load it each time you grill?
No, it's loaded.
It's just loaded?
It's loaded for it's loaded for hours and hours of cooking. And then when you want more, you just pour some more into the box.
So you put a steak
super
on,
easy.
you heat it up, you put
shut
a
it
steak
off.
on, and you
then
shut
turn
it
it
off.
back on again, and it fucking it takes a couple minutes. It kicks on. It heats up really quickly. Tastes delicious.
It's
I
got
love
an app
cooking
now.
on
They
it.
have an app now that you can just tell you what your temperature is on
Yes.
it.
You do it from your phone.
Yeah.
They also have a
Another thing
thing
from my phone.
that you plug into the meat, like a meat thermometer, and it registers on the thing, so you tell exactly what temperature your food is when it's done.
Awesome.
Yeah, Green Mountain Grills is the best.
I'm all
I
gas.
love it.
It's all gas at the Papa House.
Use gas grills. That's no good.
I have that also.
That doesn't taste as good. I like to grill on lump charcoal, but I like to slow cook things and like smoke things on the Green Mountain Grill.
What's really not good is the lid of my grill is the paint's been
Oh my God!
coming off for about.
good
The
at
same
all.
thing just happened to me. You can't do that.
It's been coming off for a couple of years.
gonna
Yeah,
die.
me too.
You can't eat that.
All the black stuff would fall on your chicken, and you don't know if it's just grind or
You don't know if
paint.
it's chicken
I
or
did that
paint.
for like 2 years before
Yeah.
Green Mountain Grill sent me one.
You need to get a better grill.
Time for a new
That's
grill.
bullshit.
Let's get new grills.
That's bullshit. You guys should get grills
Yeah.
together. Yeah. But those, I have, you know what a big green egg is?
No.
That's like it's a ceramic grill. It's really heavy, and the fact that it's made out of ceramic, it keeps in the heat. And a lot of people like smoke things and cook things on
Right.
that. I use it mostly to grill, but I don't have a big green egg. I have a better one. It's called a Kamado. It's really beautiful. It's big, beautiful Japanese thing with blue tiles on it. But I use that for grilling. I grill steaks on it.
Okay.
But anything that I want to slow cook, like the other day I did a roast on the Green Mountain Grill. Oh, lovely.
That sounds
Your
good.
photos always
Oh,
get me.
lovely.
I'm eating lean pocket.
Yeah, I did my first moose roast the other day. It was
Moose? Where'd you get the moose?
spectacular. I shot that bitch
Where?
right in the fucking
Van
heart.
Nuys?
It's right there. There's this-
Yeah, Van Nuys. I got it in Studio City. It was talking shit about them.
At the Witsit driving
Talking
range?
shit about Mexicans. I had to take it out. No, I shot it in Canada.
You did.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
hear
yeah.
moose hunting is like the top of the hunting.
Well, it's delicious meat, and you can get a moose, and it'll last you. I mean, I have 400 pounds of moose meat in my freezer.
Oh my god.
Yeah, give or take a couple
Isn't
of
that
pounds.
Isn't that his
400
face right there?
pounds.
Oh yeah, this is him right
That's
there.
his head right there.
For real?
Yeah, that was the moose. Yeah,
Holy
forgot he was
cow.
right there. Hi, fella.
He looks
Hey,
terrible.
sweetie.
talking about
Yeah, he's really lean right now.
He looks awful.
Yeah.
400 pounds.
Oh, so it was a 900-pound animal, and after you debone it and skin it and cut all the meat out, it's a
Wow.
lot of meat. And so that's like 400 meals.
Is it really gamey or is
No, not at all.
No?
Moose isn't even
Not like
remotely
deer?
gamey. No, moose is like a very unique flavor. It's like, and even deer, a good percentage of like deer, like what makes it gamey is the
Yeah.
preparation.
Oh, really?
It's how people take care of the meat. Like
Uh-huh.
it's the glands are really important. You avoid like they have these things called tarsal glands that like are down near their legs, and when they're in heat, which is most of the time when people hunt them, it's called the rut, and it's like that's when hunting season is legal. In a lot of states, if you get that stuff on the meat, it'll fuck with the taste of the meat.
Yeah, it gets strong.
Yeah, if it decomposes or if you let it sit in the sun too long,
Right.
while you're gutting it, that's not good. The meat can go bad. If the organs get too hot while you're taking care of it,
Right.
there's a bunch of different variables. Like the
Yeah.
fat itself, you got to trim the fat off of deer, especially.
Who's your
that
guide
can-
through all this?
There's a guy named Steve Ranella, and he has a show called Meat Eater. It's on the Sportsman's Channel, and he's taken me on. He took me on my first hunt, and then I started going hunting with a bunch of different people ever since then.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like for the last 2 years. What did you just get excited about, Brian? What happened?
Well, I was looking up because Foie Gras has been, the ban has been overturned here in Los Angeles, and I was just looking to see what restaurants have it. And one of my favorite restaurants, they announced that they carry it now.
Dude.
Animal.
Animal, I'm sure. There's a place right down the street here, right like in the next town over. It's called Brandywine. It's fucking amazing. It's on Ventura Boulevard. They have the best foie gras. It's amazing. And people who don't like foie gras, oh, you're an asshole. Why would you eat duck liver? Well, why would you eat duck? Okay, an asshole to eat they're overfeeding those ducks. Is that worse than shooting him in the fucking face? Because that's what's going to happen too. Cutting his head off and plucking all his feathers out.
What's the humane way that they, I guess, now are doing? Is it just like a...
There's a lot of debate about whether or not it's humane to create foie gras. And in all, objectively speaking, it is kind of fucked up that you take this duck and you stick his mouth into a tube and then you force feed him, and that's what makes their liver swell.
Yeah.
However, the reality is, when you go to these foie gras places where they have these farms, when it's time for the ducks to feed, they all get close to that feeder. They want that food. You know, they probably don't want you to grab them roughly and stick their neck on it. But the best way to do it is to not force feed them. The best way to do it is to give them an abundance of food, but you're going to get a smaller liver than if you just pour it down their throat.
I've never had it.
They just don't have the same. They don't have gag reflexes like we do. They don't. It's not like.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure they don't like being grabbed and have their mouth stuck into a tube, but they also don't like being killed.
No, there's no humane. There's no nice way to kill and eat meat.
Well, there's a humane way to treat them while they're alive, and that's where the debate lies. But when the animal rights people passed that legislation, I mean, you got to realize, like, the agenda of like PETA and animal rights people, they don't even want you eating eggs. Do you know PETA on their website has eggs listed as a chicken's period? Do you really want to eat a chicken's period? Pull that up, Jamie. Pull that up, because it's serious? Oh my God, it's so hilarious. Now listen, I'm telling you this from personal experience because I have chickens. I have 22 fucking chickens, okay? And I eat eggs from my chickens every day. They are delicious. And it's not a chicken's period, okay? It's an unfertilized egg. Look at that. Would you eat a chicken's period? Look how dumb you fuckheads are. Eggs come from chicken menstruation. Yeah.
So they
look
menstruate.
at that. So they have a frying pan with a bloody underwear.
Oh,
First of all,
disgusting.
that's why a bloody underwear. What kind of lazy bitch can't put a fucking tampon in? Okay.
Do your chickens wear underwear?
They all do. Every chicken does. You don't know this?
Panty protectors?
They wear maxi pads. It's so stupid. Have you ever cracked open an egg and found blood inside? It's like a scary Carrie moment. That's sure to make anybody gag. Clean up in aisle 6. Who the fuck wrote this?
Yeah, who's
what
the person who wrote
dunce?
this?
Pull up the name of this fucking dullard.
That's bad writing.
Do they have a name on this thing? Go all the way up. It doesn't say. Coward!
You wrote a bad song, PT.
Clean up in aisle 6. Fuck you, dumbass. It's like a Halloween prank gone wrong.
My
but
sister has
chicken
chickens.
periods are what you're eating every time you fry, scramble, or bake with eggs. You're getting delicious, cruelty-free protein. Okay, my chickens are completely free range. They wander around my yard. I eat their eggs. Nobody gets hurt. My fucking 4-year-old picks the chickens up. Okay, these chickens are fine.
Yeah.
No one's getting hurt.
They're gonna make eggs either way.
There's nothing
They're
wrong
just
with
gonna
eating
rot.
a girl's period anyway. This girl's just not having any fun at all. I mean, that's not gross.
Just blood.
It's just blood. My steak is dripping of blood. I don't even know that fucking bitch. I mean, you know?
Exactly. Well, most of the steaks you eat are actually males, believe it or not.
Yeah.
They're steers. They're a bull that they cut their balls off of.
You gonna eat 400 pounds of moose?
Eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give some away.
You'll get
I've given
through it?
some away.
Yeah.
I've given some to my friends. Actually, run a restaurant. I've given some
Oh, yeah?
some mousse to them. I told them to cook it. Tell me what it tastes like. Tell me, like if they
they can do
she's a
some-
chef.
yeah.
I'm like, what kind of preparations would you use? She's like, let me think about this, and I go cook it. Tell me what you're gonna do.
That's
Yeah, but
pretty
I've done it a bunch of different ways. I've grilled it. Like I said, I marinated it and grilled it. Then I marinated and made a roast the other day. That was kind of interesting.
cool. Wow,
That was delicious.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, you like sear it on a frying pan, and then you cook it over like 400-degree temperature for about about a half an hour. So it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moose.
Well, the good thing about it, California to appeal ruling overturning Fogwa ban. Oh, they're gonna. We're
You better get there quick.
Fuck.
You better make a
Bullshit.
reservation tonight.
I am upset. What are they
Better
saying?
make a reservation.
What are they
Scroll down
saying?
a little, yeah.
Scroll up. What is this dummy saying?
They're not gonna.
California's Attorney General on Wednesday filed notice that her office, will appeal a federal judge's decision that overturned the state's 2-year ban on the sales of fogwa, a delicacy made from fatty duck and geese liver. California outlawed fogwa sales and production in 2004, but but the ban
Didn't
didn't
take
take place until 2012. Proponents of the ban say force feeding of ducks and geese to enlarge their livers amount to animal cruelty. Critics of the ban say it infringes upon culinary freedom, effectively turning chefs into criminals. Silly. Silly, silly, silly.
Freedom.
What the fuck?
This questionable ruling, California has the right to prevent the commerce in such a cruel and inhumane product. Look, all meat products are cruel and humane. You're going to have to go through every fucking single Taco Bell and take out all their beef, all their
Right.
pork, all their chicken, every Burger King, every
KFC.
McDonald's, every KFC. That is all animals that are treated far more cruel than these expensive duck and geese.
Yeah.
I mean, they treat those better.
Large factory farms.
All they're doing is feeding them a lot of grain. That's all they're doing. It's not like, this idea that this is like a uniquely cruel thing, and that if you ban this, all the other things that you see
Right.
are not as bad. No, all
Right.
the other things you see are way
Or
worse.
Yeah.
They cut chickens' beaks off when they're babies so that they don't peck each other's eyeballs off because they're in such close quarters, stuffed into these little cages. That's all legal. If they want to make something, what they should do is have everything free range. Everything should be free range. Pork should be free range. Chicken should be free range. Beef should be free range. You should have an allotted amount of land that you have to own for a certain amount of chickens, a certain amount of cows, a certain amount of beef. But then you're going to have problems with coyotes, because I have a coyote. I've had 2 chickens get killed by coyotes and 1 by my dog.
Really?
So yeah, fucking man. Like they find a way to get to them. And if
Yeah.
you have a big farm, you're going to have sheepdogs that run around, or some sort of dog that keeps the coyotes away. I mean, you're going to have to change agriculture. You're going to have to change livestock.
And you couldn't do it at that level,
That's-
mass.
That's the only way to stop animal cruelty when it
Yeah.
comes to livestock. And if they don't do that, then they're hypocritical. This is silliness.
Right.
This is only food.
Right, exactly.
They're only force feeding them.
In such a small scale compared to.
And it's delicious. Ooh, you ever had it? Fogwa,
So good.
buttery.
I'm going tonight.
I have to use the restroom.
Yummy. Go use that
Can I use the
restroom, Tom
restroom?
Papa. Go through that door and do your little business.
Snap it off.
I just
paper?
Yeah.
yeah, we got paper. If you take a shit, though, warn us and keep the fan on. He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
I never met him before until today.
I didn't know he was in so many movies. He's been in a movie with Matt Damon before. I forget what the name of it was. But he's been in a lot of TV shows and stuff like that.
He had
The
that
Informant.
show. He had that show. Oh yeah, that was a good movie. He had that show, the wedding counselor or the marriage counselor or something like that.
Yeah.
Where he's like, what was it called?
The
Marriage
marriage ref.
Yeah, where he was like, that's a job you don't want. Trying to get people to fucking work their marriage out. Just fucking break up. Just try again. You're a new person now. Try it one more time. That was the quickest tinkle ever. You doing blow in there, dude? Did you do blow in there?
No, but I washed my hands and everything.
Wow,
I
that's
go quick.
incredible.
What the fuck?
How the fuck did you do that?
Is
Wash
it
your
that
hands while you're
fast?
shit?
Did you pee or shit?
I peed. I'm not going to shit
Amazing.
here.
You can shit here.
Yeah, I
we
would
all
never.
shit here.
I would never.
Um,
I don't
the-
think I've
that-
shit outside of my own house more than twice in my life.
Are you serious?
Dude, I'll shit in the parking lot if I have to.
I really don't. It's
Really?
very infrequent. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that show, The Marriage Ref, that you did.
Yes.
Was that a nightmare, like talking to people about their relationship troubles?
No, that part was okay. Talking to the real people was fine. it was trying to do a comedy show with celebrities that weren't funny. Staring into the eyes of Donald Trump or Gloria Estefan.
Oh.
While you're trying to get funny conversation going. I could talk to regular people about their relationships all night and day.
Well, what was the
I kind
show?
of find it fun and interesting.
What was the I never saw it. So
It was a good core idea of Seinfeld's that when married couples get in fights, these fights will last forever because you're not really giving in and solving the problem. You just kind of you hunker down. But if you have a friend, it happened with him. Him and his wife were in a fight, and he had a friend over, and Jerry said to him, "Will you please listen to both our sides and you tell us who's right and who's wrong?" And the friend listened to it and said, "You're right," or "She's wrong," whatever. And he thought this is a funny thing for a show for married couples. So they have these fights that last their whole marriage. Have a marriage ref weigh in and say whether it's right or wrong. And it's at its core, it's like a pretty good idea. But then there's so many moving. It was like part reality, then it was part talk show. Then you had 3 celebrities weighing in and giving their opinion on it, and then it just became too many like moving parts. And
the celebrities are a goofy idea.
Yeah.
Because especially like a lot of celebrities will pretend they have an opinion that's different than they really have just in order to be like to get good
say
social
something.
brownie points or to sound like it's the right thing to say.
Right, or just to make noise on TV, just to be saying something. And then it became a booking nightmare because it went through Jerry's Rolodex at first. It was like all these really famous, fun people that he knew, like Alec Baldwin and Larry David and Madonna and all these crazy people. And then that was it. He wasn't going to just keep asking friends and stuff. And then the next year it was like the level of guests went way down, and it was like, you can't get those kind of. The network wanted Madonna every week, and you're getting some road comic or something like on, and that part became kind of wiggy.
Yeah. if you're counting on celebrity guests,
It's rough.
like Celebrity Apprentice,
3.
how long can they do that? I mean, they're totally out of celebrities, right? Celebrity Apprentice.
Oh, and on my way to the store the other night, I looked at the billboard on Laurel, and I don't know who any of those people are.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they offered that shit to me when we were rebooting Fear Factor, and I
Yeah.
was like, what?
Yeah.
No.
No.
And then they're
that's
like,
a good
yeah, you
no.
got to live in New York for 2 months. I go, get the fuck. And then I talked to my wife, and I'm like, it might be fun to be in New York for one. I'm like, no, I can fucking just go to New York.
Right.
I don't want to be on this stupid fucking show and have him say, you're fired.
Is
Fuck
the money
you.
Is the money so good that that's why they get these people?
They offer good money.
It is good
Yeah,
money.
it was a good chunk of change.
Yeah.
It was real money. I was kind of surprised. I was
Right.
like, ooh.
It's been
Yeah.
on forever.
Yeah, for 2 months they were going to give you like a real fucking a big slice.
Right.
A nice slice.
That's the only way. I mean,
But it's it's still not worth
it's
it.
not worth it.
Because you're gonna
No.
be stuck there, and
I
you're gonna have to
know.
do that. But for people that are trying to like really like, I know Penn Jillette, he found that when he did it, like all these people, like they got more people to their show at the Rio. Because,
Really?
they have a weekly show. They're there every week. Penn and Teller are at the Rio in Vegas every week, and he kind of has to do things outside of that in order
Right.
to alert people that
Sure.
he's there.
Of course.
And he said it was very effective for that.
Yeah, I guess. I guess it's just a personal thing. Like I couldn't sit and look at Donald Trump and be
Yeah.
on the
You're
part of his
fired.
show. I just,
You're fired, Jetson.
that big face and
Yeah,
the
it's
thing. I
just
just
like-
I can't.
yeah.
I couldn't. But the marriage roof was okay. It was just chaos. There was like a crazy producer, and it's
Crazy
it was-
producer. Those are
Yeah,
great.
and it just
Producers
went-
are great, aren't
it just
they?
went nuts.
There's stupid ideas that you have to listen to.
Oh God, it was crazy. And fighting with the network and all this insanity.
Oh, what did the network
It was
want?
supposed to be like this nice little quiet show. Jerry just wanted to do this little. It was going to be like a Sunday night show, and just kind of like slowly bring it out, and it's just for married people. That's all it was.
Right.
And then Leno's primetime tanked, and they called Jerry, and they were like, "We want you to save Thursday nights. We're going to put it on Thursday at 10. Seinfeld returns to Thursday nights." And I don't know if you remember watching the Olympics that year. They were just kept pumping it and pumping it. The greatest show, Jerry's back, the biggest comedy show. Every break of the Olympics, to the point where when they had the final ceremonies for the Olympics, they cut it off someone was in like mid singing, mid Canadian song, and they were like, "Boop, the marriage rap,"
Oh,
and
no.
people were like, This is not what you told us. This is not the best comedy thing of all time. And they really came after it.
Too
pretty
much
hard.
hype?
Way too much. Way. We didn't even know what we were doing yet. We didn't know what it was yet.
Yeah, you got to let those things grow, right?
Yeah. And they're like,
It's like we were talking about with jokes. You know,
Yeah.
you're getting the first draft on NBC pumped up by the Olympics.
totally. It was so annoying. Like, I would watch the Olympics and be like, all right, I can't watch enough with these promos. I don't want I can't. Letterman did a thing, one of his top tens. Remember, that was the year like someone went off in a, not the toboggan, like a luge or something went flying off the side or something. And it was like the top 10 things that he thought right before he crashed or something. And one was, no more marriage ref promos or something like that.
but didn't someone die?
Yeah, I don't think it was the dead guy.
Yeah,
He wouldn't have done a
he
top
wouldn't
10
have
off the
done
dead
that.
guy.
He might have,
Maybe.
depending on where his life was at that moment.
Yeah, good point. But it was, you know, you just kind of get swept into those things, and it was fun to have a show for a couple of years.
Do you want to do something else now? What are you doing
Yeah,
now?
for sure. I'm acting on The Nick. I have a couple episodes coming again.
What's the Nick?
The Nick is Soderbergh's new show with Clive Owen. It's about a hospital in New York in like 1910, and it's really good. Clive Owen's amazing.
Is it a comedy or is it a drama?
No, it's a drama.
Wow.
And Clive Owen's amazing. It's great. It's really, really well done.
This is it? Oh, whoa.
Yeah, it's so good.
Modern medicine had to start somewhere.
And Soderbergh does it. I do a lot of stuff with Soderbergh.
That looks to me like that scene in that that movie, The Wolfman, the most recent one with, what the fuck is his name? What's it? Benicio del Toro. Yeah.
Oh,
Benicio del Toro was the Wolfman.
Oh, yeah.
And they did an experiment on him, and he fucking turned into the Wolfman in the middle of the. That's like one of them old schooly auditorium type.
Yeah.
You know, where they would
Operating room.
medical school where they do operations.
Oh, it's so like, and he's like addicted to cocaine. And at the end of the
Nice.
first season, they treat him for cocaine madness because it's all legal back then. To treat him for
Whoa.
cocaine madness, they give him heroin.
This is on Cinemax?
Cinemax, yeah.
I didn't even know Cinemax still existed.
I know. This is like the only real good show.
I'm not
on
trying
there.
to be rude.
No, it goes from this to
I
like
didn't
softcore
know.
porn.
Yeah, they kind of been quiet, right?
Yeah, but I only did a couple episodes, and I have another couple coming up in the next season. But it's
Cinemax
a cool thing
is
to be on.
alive and kicking.
Man, this
Well,
is a
look,
good show.
Showtime was dead in the fucking water until shit like Dexter. And,
Yeah.
You know, and now they have one of my favorite shows ever. The show about the CIA. Homeland.
Yeah.
Love that show.
Right, exactly.
It's a fucking great show.
Yeah, no, it's good
Why
stuff.
not Cinemax? I mean, this is all they need to do. What was he cutting up with a pig? What
Pig.
the fuck
He was
doing?
practicing.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Is it
There's like some really.
is it aired already? Is it
Yeah, the
started
first
airing?
season aired. Yeah.
Oh, the first season's already
first
aired.
season aired. There was 10 of them. I
Wow,
think.
there's so many channels now. It's
It's
so
amazing.
crazy. But all you have to do like A&E, okay,
Right.
or like what is even worse? What is the fucking Walking Dead on?
AMC.
AMC.
What the fuck is that?
Right.
Who the hell ever watched AMC before The Walking Dead was on?
And Mad Men's on there too.
And Breaking Bad too, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
out of nowhere,
nowhere.
all you have to do is just put out amazing shows, and people will flock to your stupid network.
It's crazy. You can do
Yeah.
it on Netflix or Amazon.
Oh yeah, and
Right?
Netflix is House of Cards is giant.
I'm writing for a show on Amazon now.
Really?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's called Red Oaks. It's about you'd like it. It's about it's coming of age kind of. It's Red Oaks is a country club in northern New Jersey, and it's about a young kid like working at the country club. And he's getting laid. It's kind of like Caddyshack kind of a feel to it.
Nice.
And
It's
a little
comedy.
heart, yeah, comedy. And my friend created it, and it has it going, and so I'm going to write a couple episodes.
That's
of it.
incredible.
Yeah,
Well, I know
But just on
Netflix is
Amazon,
doing
it's
a
just-
lot of
yeah.
original stuff.
yeah.
Netflix
They all
has
are.
Bill Burr has his new animated show that's going to
Yeah.
come out.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
They wrote it already.
Yeah.
Well, you could make something, man. Don't be
I'm
jealous.
trying.
Make something.
Trying.
Yeah.
They had they wrote it, and then it's going to be like a year until it's on the air.
Right.
Because they have to animate the shit out of it, and it takes a long fucking time.
Oh man, I
You gotta
did
get
an
those
animated
kids
thing.
in the sweatshop to do it. That's what happens.
Yeah,
They
no,
send
it's
it
true.
overseas
Goes to Korea. That's what we did. Me and Rob Zombie did an animated feature called Super Beasto,
Dude, you were hanging out with Rob Zombie?
Yeah.
What's that like?
He's a good guy.
Is he?
Really good guy. Hard worker. Real
bet.
creative.
Makes fucking horror movies now. How weird is that? They're good.
Really good.
Yeah.
That guy works, gets up early and just goes.
Really?
Goes. Talking about like make something, he's just like one of those guys like, no, we're doing this and you're going to do it.
Wow.
And when we did this it took us like 5 years, literally.
Wow.
From doing it and animating and recutting it, all I mean, it just went on forever.
5 fucking years.
Yeah,
God
it took
damn.
forever.
How many horror movies has that guy directed now? Quite a few.
Like 4 or 5. He did 2 Halloweens, House of a Thousand Corpses. The other one, Devil's Rejects.
Yeah, Devil's Rejects was crazy.
Yeah. Then he just did Salem, the Lords of Salem. So that's like
Yeah,
5
he
right
makes
there.
some fucked up horror movies too.
He does. They get dark.
Dark and violent,
Really dark.
splatter films.
And then you're just like, he's a then you're just hanging out with him and his wife and my kids and
Totally normal.
Yeah, right.
That's so
He
strange.
directed both my stand-up specials.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Rob Zombie directed your stand-up specials.
badass.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking dope.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's pretty dope.
The last one we just were like, people are giving us money. Let's make it. Let's use it. Let's make it like show business. Like we blew the whole thing out. It's just great. Stand-up specials are really just about the jokes, but we just made it like it looks like a game show. It was called Freaked Out.
Oh wow.
That's on Netflix. Yeah, and it looks like literally like it's all bright, and I had this like white mic, and it's like
that's great.
Yeah, we just wanted to make them like films, like be creative with it.
Netflix is amazing now. I
Yeah.
did my first special on Netflix in 2005.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was my first video special. Really.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was the beginning of like the whole internet.
Right.
Like nobody really had the kind of broadband to get shit like instantaneously back then. It was really a
Where
lot
to
of people
find
still
it.
had dial-up in 2005.
Right.
Or they had really shitty cable or something like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
But now Netflix has something like 70 million download or 70 million customers.
Yeah, it's big.
So think about that: 70 million people
big.
spending $7 a month.
That's why they're making shows because they have so much cash.
That's fucking insane money.
Insane.
Think about that every month.
Yeah, that's they have a lot of cash.
That's a
They're
lot
like,
of
why don't we make
cash.
some shows?
Yeah.
How much can that be? $1 million an episode? Not a big deal.
But they have to have deals though too with like cable providers and shit. Remember they were like throttling down their
Oh, yeah.
cable. Netflix takes on $400 million in new debt to fund original content and European expansion.
Yeah.
Wow.
They'll make it back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in a
for
month.
sure.
They'll make that shit back in a month.
I have a great idea for a Netflix special or movie.
Don't
because,
say it. Someone will steal that shit.
You're right.
You can't say I have a great idea.
Well, it's not like I'm
Listen
ever.
to this.
It's not like I'm ever gonna do it.
Why do you say? Well, don't give it
then
away.
someone
man.
else will do it.
Let's talk.
Just tell us when
Yeah,
the
when
mics are
shut
off.
this motherfucker down, and we'll write some notes. You have a lot of great ideas, dude. You're just lazy.
This is a funny idea. I'm not really gonna do this,
okay,
but here's my idea.
Don't tell anybody, man. What are you crazy?
It's so stupid.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so most people have got rid of their cable, right? And most people.
No, that's not true
Well,
at all.
no, there's a lot of new. Every year, there's
Young
more and more
people.
people that are getting rid of their cable. A lot of my friends don't have cable.
Young
I don't have
people
cable
don't buy
anymore.
cable.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest things, though, is I'm somebody that likes to watch TV when I go to bed. I like to have the TV on when I'm sleeping. With Netflix, every time you watch something, it says like this window pops up after the show. It's like, are you still watching?
Yeah.
And then just turns off. Then halfway through, you have to like wake up, turn on the TV again, or hit play. I just want to make a video or a movie that's like 12 hours long. So, for people that just want to sleep and have their TV on, they don't
Stop
have cable.
talking.
The good news
Stop
is
talking now.
the good news is no one's going to steal that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
The
saying.
bad news is that's a good idea to you.
I mean, have you ever? Do you watch TV when you go to bed? Like, do you
No,
keep
I
the TV
shut it
on?
off and go to bed like a normal fucking human.
I
you
don't
know
have
a lot
a
of
TV in
people
the
that do
bedroom.
What's wrong with you, Brian?
But you know a lot of people that do that, right?
You,
You've
should
slept
you
with
need to
girl
go to
before
a
this.
doctor.
Oh my god.
You need to get your brain examined. There's something wrong there. You know there's something wrong there.
You
You
shouldn't.
probably got a mouse-sized
Do you
tumor.
live alone?
Huh?
You live alone?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of people that watch TV with like have to have the TV on when they sleep.
And they want a
If they're
12-hour
alone.
Netflix show to
Just so I
download
don't have-
and waste bandwidth.
just-
What a great
While they're
idea.
sleeping, not
Yeah.
watching it.
Well,
You should pitch that. You should set up a meeting. Watch
Don't they
them
have a
stare
thing?
at you.
Don't they have a thing on Netflix where it just goes to the next episode?
after a while, it has this window that pops up. It's like, are you still watching? Because it doesn't want you to do that. It
Right.
doesn't want you to
Use their
waste bandwidth.
bandwidth.
So maybe have a really small low res video that's just like an
No.
old movie soundtrack. And
No. They're not going to do that. Here's some shit to watch while you're falling asleep. And then they'll watch it while they're halfway awake and it's you in your underwear playing with your feet. And they'll be like, what is this?
Yeah.
They're like, shut this off.
It's the biggest hit for people who are asleep.
No one, I tell you, no one thinks that's a good idea but you.
Man.
I'm going to say no one.
No one at
Damn
all.
it. I'll show you guys.
No one at
It'll be
all.
the #1 watched movie on Netflix just for people that want to go to sleep with
No,
something.
it will be the #1 watched for idiots. People with head wounds.
Oh,
People
God.
that
Right.
they're missing something.
Dead people.
Yeah, people serious
Extremes.
nutritional deficiencies. They can't see straight. They don't know how to work a remote. They can't find their glasses.
It streams in morgues all around the country.
No, that idea sucks, bro.
Hey, we have to plug Ari's show.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. This is not happening. It's on Thursday nights at 12:30, and you are on this Thursday.
I don't know. Yeah,
I
maybe.
think so. That's
I think
why
so.
We're here this week. I
I
believe
hope
you're
so.
on this Thursday. Is that correct?
If not, I'm
Yeah.
on one of the
It is-
Thursdays, so
it
you
is
better keep watching.
What did you talk about? Can you give us a preview without giving away the story?
Yeah.
What was the episode about?
I don't know.
There's a theme.
I don't know.
You don't know.
I know my story though
Okay.
was about when I was in high school. How I would sneak out of my house to go to my girlfriend's house. I would come in for curfew, and then
Whoa.
sneak out, and I had this whole system, and I would sneak out and then
Get
push
some
my car into the
Pova.
woods, and then
Push
It's
your
about
car
that.
into the woods and then
no
start
out,
it.
and then park it in the woods by her house.
Oh,
And then, like,
so
climb
you
in
would
her window.
drive it out to her house and then push it into the woods so that no one could hear it.
Not in the woods. I would hide in like the bushes.
Right.
It was
And
all
you
about
guys
saying goodnight to my family and then
going out and get some
going
sex.
out. And, yeah,
Do do do.
it's a funnier story than the preview.
Ari's
But
a-
Ari has a great show. Is the point? And
Yeah,
it's
it's
on
great.
after at midnight.
Ari was on Conan last night. Killed it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, killed it.
Did you stand up?
Yeah, nobody gives a shit about Conan on CBS though, or TBS or whatever the fuck. It
I
is.
know, but it's such a
different.
good place to go do stand up.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
such the audiences are great. They do a good show.
It's just weird.
It's just
because no one's watching. It's just
right.
What are the numbers?
Like
It's better than George
800,000
Lopez.
Like 800,000.
George Lopez's show was on after it, right? Didn't they
used to
do
be,
that?
yeah, back
they
in
used
the
to do
day.
Conan first and George Lopez
I think
after.
it's,
It's like,
I think it's below 1 million.
yeah, they tried to do that thing, that that late night thing on TBS. They tried to do it, but it's like people are addicted to that NBC, CBS sort of back and forth.
Do you know what TBS is on your
No,
TV?
I don't even
I don't either.
never see it.
I could not tell you what the number is.
It's like sitcom reruns. I mean, that's what I think of when I think
Right.
of TBS. I guess they have their own shows too. Is Cougar
couple.
Town?
Yeah, TBS
Is
is.
Cougar
Legit.
Town
That was
TBS?
yeah, but that was an ABC show. that
It
they
was?
bought. Yeah.
Cougar Town was?
The problem is, whenever I like baseball, and whenever there's the playoffs, always go on TBS. I'm always
Yeah.
like, where is it? I can't, you
Oh.
got to look it up and find it, and you're not doing that every night. Just
There's so many fucking channels now.
it's amazing.
And with things like Netflix, essentially what Netflix is like a production company that's like a bridge to the internet.
Right.
And the internet is where it's at. It's like that is the future for all this stuff.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
The only problem with Netflix is though, this is a problem. You can't download it and keep it on your computer. Like you can't watch a Netflix movie
no,
on a plane.
I know.
That's stupid.
That is a bummer.
Because they don't want you stealing and then taking it,
But
and
you should be
pirating
able-
it. You
why
can
not-
only stream it.
Why not do it like when you rent a movie on iTunes? Like you get once you play it, it terminates in 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't they do that, Netflix?
Well, they should, but I think when you download something on iTunes, you don't have a physical copy that you could copy and play. Like it only
No.
appears in the app, right?
Right.
It's not like in a file somewhere where you could find it,
No.
right?
Right.
It comes up on your iPad.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah, I
that,
don't-
Netflix.
Yeah, they should do that because that's annoying that you can't get something and watch it on a plane. I think that's whack.
It is whack.
That's when you go back into piracy.
They haven't.
Don't do it, Brian. They're gonna arrest people. Didn't they put those Pirate Bay guys and they just fucking? There's some new ruling got passed on the Pirate Bay guys. They're fucked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they just actually re-released Pirate Bay today, I believe.
I don't know what Pirate Bay is.
A new version of Pirate Bay.
Pirate Bay is a site that allows you to find and access BitTorrent files pretty easily. So, like, if Tom Papa is selling his his special online. Like if you did a Louis C.K. $5 thing,
Right.
they would just BitTorrent the shit out of it, and people just, somebody would
Steal
buy
it.
it for $5, throw it up on BitTorrent, and then a bunch of people would download it for free. Like
I-
movies, like a lot of movies, like the Sony hack. They released a lot of movies.
Really?
Some movies that aren't even done yet.
Jeez.
They got files and just fucking threw them online.
Oh man, that's awful.
I use it for legal books and PDFs. I mean, there's legal reasons for Pirate Bay also.
Yeah, no, you could definitely get some stuff that's legal. Like if you wanted to share things, like say if you had a book and you decided you were going to release it for free as
Yeah.
a PDF, what a lot of people do, you could just upload it and then people can get it anytime they want. And that's like one of the arguments about what file sharing actually is. Like everyone says it's just piracy, and
Right.
like guys like Kim.com, that dude from he lives in New Zealand. I mean, that they are fucking that guy hard. They took all of his money. He's going bankrupt.
Right.
It's incredible, and it's because he created Mega Upload. And Mega Upload was a place where a lot of people downloaded, quote unquote, stolen or illegal files.
Was it stolen?
I don't know. It's all tricky
Like,
shit.
why do you want your
What are you
book to be
showing
read
us?
by all these criminals?
What are you showing us? Alert, stay away from the Pirate Bay website as we've gotten reports it has been seized indirectly by the FBI and is logging IPs.
Oh, Mr. PDF.
That's why I
Dun-dun,
legally
dun.
use it
Back-
only for PDFs. And
You're going back
The
to the
Pirate
big
Bay
house.
is an FBI honeypot, a disconcertingly plausible conspiracy theory. Yeah, that's totally plausible. And it's from motherboard.com.
you honey dicking me?
back to the,
Motherboard.vice.com, rather.
back to the big house with you.
Yeah, honey hole in you. I'm getting you. Listen, I gotta get the fuck out of here. So let's wrap this bitch up tight.
This was great.
Tom Papa on Twitter, TOMPAPP or PA?
PAPA.
PA.
Papa.
Yeah, there's no Papa. It's like Dada.
It's Italian. It's not
Papa.
Greek. It's not Pappas.
Oh, it would be two P's if it was Greek?
Yeah, PAPPA. PAPPAS.
One P.
Papa.
TOMPAPA. Tom Papa, and he will be on very soon on This Is Not Happening. Did we get confirmation? Is it this week?
It's probably
I
this
believe
week.
it's this week.
I believe it's this week, too.
And I'm touring all over the place. Go to
all
tompapa.com
over
for my
this
dates.
motherfucker. Touring all
I'm
over this
touring.
motherfucker.
I'm coming to you, Florida.
You can see him on The Nick, on Cinemax. What else? Anything else people need to know?
I'll be
You said
in
you're going to be in Florida? Where are you going to
I'll
be?
be in Irvine Nick for Valentine's weekend.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, bitches.
Making the lovers laugh.
In Florida? You said you're going to be in Florida?
Yeah, I'm touring. Yeah, just go to. I'm all over the place.
Good googly moogly. TomPapa.com. Brian, you got anything going on?
I have a new T-shirt for pre-order to shopsquad.tv and then Ice House Thursday and Friday and Comedy Store Thursday.
Boom.
You make your own shirts?
Lock, boom.
Nice.
All right now.
Oh.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the week. We'll be back next week. I got a lot of good guests next week. Brian Cox, the astrophysicist, is going to be on next week. A lot of other people, too. I don't want to tell you about everybody. I got some shit going down. Oh, Josh McDermott from The Walking Dead is going to be on next week,
Oh,
too.
that's a good one.
Billy Corbin, the director of Cocaine Cowboys 1 and 2, and he's got a new piece that he's working on. He'll be here next week, too. All right, until then, go fuck yourself, all right? Hey! Put it up your fucking thing there. All right, we love you. We love you. We love you. Come on, we're just kidding. See you soon. Bye.
Bravo.